South region. First matchup is Bama versus one of the 16 seeds, either Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, or Southern Missouri State. But we'll start off, Joel. I think it's pretty easy.
I think this one's a very clear one. Alabama here, pretty easy. When you have the best player in the country in Brandon Miller, clear-cut, top 5 prospect in the upcoming draft. This team is unreal. I think Bama is a clear-cut favorite team, best team in the country. Their defense is unreal. Just watching them play over this whole season, you can tell this team is special. And yeah, I'm just going to ride Bama with that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bama also. 1 versus 16 seed. It's only been upsetted once, and like you said, Joel, Brandon Miller is one of the best players in college basketball, if not the best, depending on who you ask. 6'10", 3-level scorer can really has really elevated that Bama team. And plus, I mean, they're battle tested. They've gone through the SEC. Only losing about 2 or 3 games, I'm pretty sure, in the SEC, which is very impressive. And yeah, I think Alabama takes this one pretty easily.
I mean, yeah, Alabama. There's not really a whole lot to say. Alabama is the clear-cut better team, although that's what you expect when a 1v16 team. Alabama by whatever score you want.
By a lot.
By a lot.
We'll just say by a lot.
I also picked Alabama.
All right, moving on to the 8-9 game, Maryland versus West Virginia. In that one?
I took West Virginia in this one. I just struggle heavily this year with trusting a lot of Big Ten schools.
Big Ten is unbelievably mid this year.
They are, and you can see Maryland taking big games all year, and then the next game they come out and play like complete garbage.
Yeah.
And I feel like West Virginia is a more battle-tested team, especially playing in that Big 12. You get Kansas, you get Baylor, TCU. You get all these teams that you're facing up against each on a almost weekly basis. When you have 4 guys scoring double digits also, that's really very impressive. But yeah, so I'm going to go with West Virginia on this one.
I'm also going to go West Virginia. I think for Maryland, like you said, the Big Ten has been pretty bad this year, and the Big Ten historically in the tournament usually disappoints. Yes. And the Terps are 2-9 in true road games, which doesn't bode well for them playing in Birmingham. And I think West Virginia, they got a good squad. They really play hard, and I think they're going to be winning pretty well. They did only go like 7-11 in Big 12, but the Big 12 this year was unreal.
Like we said, it's the gauntlet.
Yeah. So for them, I think they're going to get by Maryland.
I also took West Virginia in this game based on everything you all said. I also think Bob Huggins is an all-time great head coach. That West Virginia defense is going to be swarming. And West Virginia has much more experience playing quality teams this year than Maryland does because the Big 12 has been so good. And for those reasons, I will also take West Virginia.
All right, I've been convinced to take West Virginia as well.
Fair enough.
All right, next game is number 5 and 12 seed San Diego State and Charleston.
Okay, so we are. I'm just going to go out and say this right now. The 5-12 seeds are a lot of your big upsets.
Yeah.
And this has been constant, especially throughout these past couple of years. And we're going to start off with a bang. We're going to go with Charleston. Charleston is looking dominant. They travel very well. And honestly,
31-3 on the year, right?
31-3 on the year. And you're playing in Orlando against a San Diego State team that has to travel clear across the country, and they do not tend to travel very well. Charleston has 5 guys scoring double digits. They love to play fast. They play physical too. So I love this Charleston team a lot. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go Charleston.
I'm also going to be going Charleston. 5-12, like you said, Joel, has always got at least one upset in them. And Charleston, for me, 5 starters with 10-plus points. They're led by 6'10" forward Ante Brozovic, who is really good inside, and he can stretch the floor as well. They shoot 34% from the three as a team, and they play with one of the fastest paces in the league, which is a recipe for success in the tournament. I watched their game, their championship game against, I forget who they played, but
It was a good game.
yeah, it was a good game, and you could tell, like, if Charleston is making their shots and they get hot, they're going to be a team to reckon with. I mean, Ryan Larson in that game was going absolutely nuts. He was having the ball game of his life.
Dropped 23.
Yeah, diving on balls, drilling threes. He had a big clutch 3 at the end. It was just I was very impressed with how they played in that championship game, and that really sold me to beat this San Diego State team, who does have a good defense, but I think Charleston just has all the recipes for an upset.
Yeah, for sure. Like you all said, this Charleston team is an absolute menace. 31-3 on the year. Like you said, they shoot the 3-point ball at a relatively successful rate. And like you said, San Diego State's got to travel all the way to Orlando, and they don't travel well at all. I'm going to also take Charleston here. I wouldn't be surprised if Charleston wins by double digits either.
I could say.
San Diego State's offense is not.
It's subpar.
It's subpar.
But I will give them that. I will give them that. Their defense is very.
Their defense is really good.
Defense.
But and basketball, good offense beats great defense 100 times out of 100. So, for that reason, I'm gonna also take Charleston here.
Yeah, we saw that last night, right?
Yeah, we did see that last night.
So, San Diego State doesn't seem to be able to hold it down here, you don't think?
Not
what do you think, Zach?
Well, I picked Charleston as well. Yeah.
I love it.
Good
I love
pick,
it. I love it.
All right, the next one, 4-13, Virginia and Furman.
May as well continue on the upset train here. I'm going Furman, led by Mike Bothwell, averaging 18 points. This dude is stellar, shooting 50% from the field and has a 36% clip from three-point line. That is a beast right there. And when you got, again, this team has 4 guys that can score double digits. It's a beautiful team. And honestly, with Virginia, just to look at Virginia here, Virginia, they have a great defense. They tend to always have that great defense, but their offense is it's just bad. I don't like their offense at all. So I think Furman takes this one, and they go on to a Charleston-Furman matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna also ride the upset train. I got Furman as well. Furman this year, they were seconds away from being into the tournament last year, but they lost on a buzzer beater at the end. They're, as of this year, like you said, Joel, they're led by Mike Bothwell, who's averaging 18 points, which is really good, and they are they're 33rd in adjusted offense. But they are going against a tough Virginia defense, who is 25th in adjusted defense.
Yes.
So, but like Nick just said a couple minutes ago, great offense beats great defense, and I think Furman's going to pull out the upset. Plus, I feel like out of any team in the tournament, like Virginia is always a safe bet to kind of get upset.
Stumble early on.
Yeah, they've been.
It's a consistent one that seems to.
Yeah.
Except for that 1 year after they got upset by the 16
except for the 1 year they only won the national title.
Yeah,
So,
but their name and upset have been together for a couple of years. So
yes,
I'm gonna ride the Furman trade and go with Furman on that one.
We've all got the same mind.
We are on fire right here. So
when the bracket was revealed, when I was watching the selection show and I saw Virginia pop up, I was like, if Furman pops up here, I'm taking it. I'm not even going to hesitate.
Yeah.
I saw Furman pop up. I'm like, this is so free.
It's honestly like the top I know there's a lot of games that have potentials for upsets,
Yeah.
but this is the one you look at, and it's just like, I think this one's the one. Like,
Yeah,
this is the one.
Virginia, like I said with San Diego State a couple minutes ago, their offense is, like you said, I think their offense is worse than San Diego State's. I watched that game against Duke, and I was not impressed.
Well, Duke should have beat
Virginia
them
at
that
all.
early, like at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Duke, Virginia, that Duke game got screwed.
They did.
They got
They did.
heavily screwed at the end. But yeah, it's their offense is horrible.
Like you said, Mike Bothwell, 4 guys scoring double figures. This Furman team, their coach said they're a team of destiny. The first time making the tournament since 1980.
Yes.
I get they don't have that tournament experience, but I don't really think you need tournament experience to go far in March in terms of these early games. And for those reasons, I will also take the Paladins to win this game.
All right. Well, I picked Virginia.
There you go. Hey, we got some difference.
Their good defense is going to ride it out, all right? And I've never heard of Furman, so I picked Virginia.
Makes sense.
I like it.
All right. 6 and 11 next, Creighton and NC State.
I'm going Creighton on this one. I have been high on the Big East this year. The Big East, it was literally regular season title consistently. You had 5 teams, 1 game behind Marquette at one point. Like, this conference is nuts this year. And Creighton is one of my favorite teams to watch. I'm not even going to lie about it. Got Kalkbrenner, you got Shireman, 2 studs. I love watching those guys play. Alexander's in there too. They got shooters, and then Kalkbrenner inside. Big, over 7 foot. This is a team I feel like could make a decent run in this tournament. So I'm going to go with Creighton.
I'm also going to go with Creighton. I like them a lot. They're 28th in adjusted offense and 15th in adjusted defense, so top 30 in both is very good. I like Shireman. He's a 3-point shooter. Shot 36% from the field. And then also, like you said, Kalkbrenner is a really good center. But I feel like for me, one of the guys that is going to be one of their biggest players is going to have to be Ryan Nembhard.
Yep.
He didn't do anything crazy this year.
Slight little 12 points a game, 4
Yeah.
boards, 5 assists.
That's still pretty
That's
good.
that's a great
That's
line.
a great year.
That is really
That's a great
good.
line.
But like we haven't heard of him obviously as much as we did.
Shireman.
I didn't even know.
Alexander,
I didn't even know Ryan
Kalkbrenner.
Nembhard transferred to Creighton until you just said that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so I think he's going to be really good. He was a top recruit coming out of high school, and I think with him, Shireman and Kalkbrenner, I think they're going to. I think they're going to beat NC State, who was a bubble team for this entire year, and a lot of people were surprised that they even got in anyway.
I was one of those people. I was very surprised because I thought Clemson was going to get in.
Yeah,
I thought they would have got that spot over NC State. But.
yeah. So I think that makes my decision pretty easy. So I got Creighton.
Yeah, I'll also take Creighton this game. Like you said, the metrics love them. Top 30 in offensive and defensive efficiency. It's one of the standout stats you need to have in March. And like you said, I'm not surprised that NC State got in. I am surprised that they're not in the first 4. I feel like NC State's been played up a little bit. Like Clemson beat them handily 3 times this year.
And my thing was also like Pitt. How do you go from being clearly in to the bubble?
Yeah,
I understand they got
I'm
their,
shocked Pitt isn't where NC State is right now.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
Be honest with
Because
you.
I think Pitt. I know they got their crap beat in by Duke.
Yeah.
But
I think
Pitt
that's
was
still
a better
kind of a
team.
disservice,
Pitt is
yeah.
a better team than NC State in my
For
opinion.
sure. And like you said, the metrics love Creighton. The Big East is really, really, really good this year. Like the best I can remember, and Villanova's not even in that top tier of teams.
And they weren't even healthy for 3/4 of the season.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the metrics love Creighton. Creighton's one of those teams that if they get things to go their way, they can make a run to the Elite Eight or even further.
Dude, I was really hoping that Villanova would have made it because Villanova would have been my dark horse.
Yes, no,
that would have been great.
Villanova wasn't there, but yeah, I'll take Creighton in this game. I don't think NC State is really good, and Creighton is one of those dark horses that people have.
Yep, I like that.
Fair enough. I also have Creighton. Yeah.
Go Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays. Baylor and
Baylor and
Gauchos.
UC
UC Santa Barbara.
UC Santa Barbara. Yep, I'm gonna make this one short and sweet. We're gonna go Baylor. Their guards are top notch. This is a team. This is why Baylor has been ranked so highly all year. You need at least one dynamic guard. Well, they have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
This team is heavily guard play, but I mean, you take in Keontae George, Flagler, just they're scoring 15 a game. Great, just a very efficient offense. There's times where it feels like they don't come out and play, but in this first round, I don't think they're going to have an issue. I think Baylor take care of business.
I'm going to go Baylor as well. I think Keontae George, he's going to be a lottery pick, more than likely. Averaging 16 a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He's been really good. Flagler as that other guard, 15 points. He's been really good too.
And then they got Cryer in there too.
Yeah, Cryer averaging 14.5. So they're definitely good offensively. They're the second. They're for adjusted offensive rating. They're second, which is very good. But the only thing that scares me with them for not this game but future games is adjusted defense 104,
which is hard. Which is
hard to win in March with that
with a defense like that.
Exactly. So they're one of the best offensive teams, but one of the worst defensive teams.
Yes.
So I think that's going to hurt them later on, but I don't think that UC Santa Barbara is going to really bode much trouble to this Baylor team.
Yeah, that's fair. I've also got Baylor in this game, but if you're looking for a 14 or lower seed to maybe shock the world and win a game in this tournament, I think UCSB is one of those teams that you look at because I don't trust Baylor's defense.
Potentially.
Like at all. Mm-hmm. The problem with UCSB is they don't score at a super high level.
Johnny, you wouldn't say that.
That's fair.
Shout out Johnny.
The problem with the Gauchos, even though they went 27-7, won the Big West, they don't score the ball at a super high level, and like you said, Baylor's got 2 or 3 dynamic guards that can completely change the pace of a game if need to be. So I'll take Baylor in this game just because their offense is so good. Mm-hmm. But I don't think UCSB is a team that they should sleep on at all.
I think all of us have had the exact same pick except for my Virginia pick now.
Yep, we are sitting there like that
Pretty
right now.
Close.
I got Baylor too. So.
Okay. All right. So now we got
the next one: 7-10 Missouri Utah State. This is
these 7-10 match. It's just like the
8-9 and 7-10 games.
They are so great this year.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to watching every single one of these games. Yeah. I'm going Mizzou. I love Mizzou. I think they got a great defense. They have. I mean, you're playing in the SEC. You got Kobe Brown. He is a stud. We're just going to leave it at that. Kobe Brown is a stud.
Kobe Brown is nice.
Honestly, I feel as though, I mean, Utah State out there, they play Boise State. They really don't play a whole lot of teams out there.
The Mountain West is not the SEC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You play the SEC, you run into so many teams. So I'm going to ride Mizzou on this one.
I'm going Mizzou as well. They finished the year in the top 25, which is good. Started off the season 9-0. Like you said, Joel Kobe Brown, I really like his game. 6'7" forward, averaging 16 points a game, 6 rebounds. I watched him in, I forget what game it was. It was one of their tournament games.
Yes.
And he just absolutely balled out.
Yes. I forget exactly what game that was, but I know what you're talking about.
But he had a really good game. He was fighting on the glass, getting easy buckets. It was against Tennessee. It was against Tennessee.
Dropped a whopping. It was at 38 minutes.
24 points. 24 points and 9 rebounds. So he had a great game.
That was beautiful.
And yeah, I just think Missouri is like you both said. The SEC is a lot better than
more dynamic
than the Mountain West, and I think because of that, SEC or Missouri has been battle tested, and I think they're going to beat Utah State. Even though I have seen a lot of people pick Utah State, but I'm going to go with.
I have seen that too. seen that too. I feel like this is could be a toss-up for a lot of people.
There are certain games in the tournament that you pick based on vibes, and for me, this is one of them. I'm gonna pick Missouri as well. But both these teams can score a lot of points.
Yep.
This is going to be a game where it's first team to 90 wins. And the Mountain West, while it's not the SEC, is still not a conference to be slept on.
Nope, I agree.
San Diego State, Boise State, Nevada, Utah State, like they've got some quality teams in that conference.
They do,
but it's no SEC.
It's no SEC, and I don't think Utah State has a player like Kobe Brown. So for those reasons, I will also be riding with Missouri.
All right. Well, I have a different pick this time. I picked Utah State. I guess they aren't near as good as the SEC, but I don't think that really.
This is March. This is March. This is March. Anything can happen.
Yeah. So I have Utah State. I'm sure it'll be a close game. Like when I was picking that, it was a toss-up, but I went with Utah State.
Exactly. I feel like that game can be a toss-up as is.
Utah State's 13th in adjusted offense, 64th in adjusted defense, so that's not bad at all. So they could definitely.
That's going to be an offensive fireworks.
Yeah, it's going to be a
absolutely.
Really good game. Yeah, because Missouri's 10th in offensive rating. So.
First to 90 wins that game.
Yeah, okay. Utah State's going to show up to play, I think, against an SEC school. I'm sure most people are not picking them due to the SEC thing. So
probably.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next one? Arizona versus
Arizona and Princeton.
I'm just going to make this one pretty quick. I'm going Arizona. Arizona is a dominant team. You saw them take care of business the other night against UCLA. I like Arizona a lot. I think they're a team that could make a run. I love Princeton. I honestly like Princeton. If Princeton played a different team at a different seed, maybe if they were one of these 14-3 that could shock the world, I was going to take a Princeton because I liked Princeton, but I can't take them over Arizona. I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm going to go Arizona as well. I do also like Princeton. I think if they played anybody else other than Arizona, they probably could have snuck out a win. But Arizona, I think they're just too good, led by...
Dominant.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce this.
Tubelis.
He's averaging 20 and 9 as a 6'11" forward. He's good. And then one of the guys who I believe is going to be one of the best players for Arizona during this run is Kerr Kirsa. Krisa, whatever, how you say his name. He's a junior guard from Lithuania, averaging 10 points a game. I'm pretty sure the only Arizona game that I have watched was in the Maui Invitational, and he had 20 something or 30, and he just looked like a guy that plays well in March.
Yes,
and so I'm gonna ride with that. The Wildcats finished 8th in the AP poll. They're 4th in adjusted offense, 41st in adjusted defense, and like I said, Princeton is good, but I think Arizona is just a lot better. They're a lot more proven, and I think it's going to be pretty easy. They also have Omar Ballo, who's a good center.
As well. 7-footer.
14 and 9, which is good.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. Arizona's the better team. I'm going to go Arizona.
Arizona.
Good. Okay, so now we made that through.
All right, now we're going to move on to the second round.
I feel like this could potentially be a game, but I'm not going against Bama. I'm going to stick with Bama. I don't think...
You got Bama, West Virginia, right?
Yeah, Bama, West Virginia, just to clear things up. Bama, West Virginia, I'm taking Bama.
I also have Bama, West Virginia, and I also am going to be taking Bama. I just think they're just a powerhouse right now.
They are. We're so used to them being the football powerhouse.
It is stunning that their basketball team is better than their football team this year.
I
don't know when the last time that's ever happened.
I know.
I don't think it ever
I
has.
agree.
Yeah, I think Nate Oates has a great roster.
Yes.
And they're playing
I don't like Alabama.
I don't think anybody likes Alabama. But
$1
they got a great roster. Brandon Miller is going to be a top pick, like we said already.
Brendan Miller is a stud.
Yeah,
there's no ifs,
he's a
ands, or
stud.
buts.
There's
no ifs, ands, or buts.
6'9" forward that can score at all three levels.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Was it against Arkansas where he dropped 40 and they won in overtime?
South Carolina.
South Carolina? Okay.
It was right after all of the
Yeah, it was right after all the
allegations
allegations and stuff were coming
Yeah,
out. He's in the middle of being an accomplice to murder, and he drops 40 points.
Yeah, he had 41 against South Carolina.
And literally,
They won by like 2.
Nobody else could score for them. And I'm sitting there. That's because that was a late game that night, too.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm watching Alabama almost losing this game. And you just see him just full takeover.
I didn't watch that game, but I was on like Instagram and I saw that he dropped 41 and they won by 2 points in overtime. And I was like, wait a minute.
Well, that's the thing though. Like that's scary. That's a scary thing too.
That's terrifying.
South Carolina was a weird team this year.
They were very weird.
Like they had some really big wins, and
I think they beat Kentucky.
They did beat Kentucky.
And
they kept into like a lot of games, but they were like terrible. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, I got Bama fairly easily, and yeah, I got them going to UCSB.
Yeah, I'll also take Bama in this game. I think this game could be a little bit closer than the experts think it could be. Yeah,
that's true.
Just because the defense that West Virginia is going to present can provide problems for an inexperienced backcourt. But Alabama is playing in Birmingham.
Yeah,
it's essentially a home game.
It is a bit.
These first two rounds are essentially home games.
Yeah,
and like you said, Braden Miller is a stud. There's a reason why they're the number one overall seed.
Bama is amazing at home.
Bama. Yeah, they're nuts. It's basically a home game. These first 2 rounds are basically home games for them.
Not fair at all.
They earned it. They're the number one overall seed.
Who else almost got it? I think
it was Kansas, right?
No.
Is every sport rigged towards Alabama?
Yeah, every sport's rigged towards Alabama.
Somebody was mad.
Kansas got screwed because Houston was the 2 seed and they got in the Kansas City region.
Yeah, that's
So-
what it was.
Kansas isn't Des Moines, Iowa. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'll take Bama in this game. I think they'll pull away late against West Virginia.
I agree.
Bama. Not even a question. Unfortunately.
All right.
We got our upset.
Second round.
We got Charleston and Furman.
Furman, what a matchup.
I'm going to roll with Charleston on this one. I like Charleston. Like we said, actually. I love Charleston. I think they're a fun team to watch. This could be your Cinderella team right here.
Furman.
I said
Not
Charleston.
Furman. Furman could be too. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to roll with Charleston on this one.
I'm going Charleston as well. Charleston's my team. They're my upset team. They're my Cinderella team this year. I think they're gonna make some noise. Obviously, like Furman, that's just gonna be such a fun game. Battle of like the mid majors, high powered offenses.
Yes,
like that game's just gonna be fun.
If it happens, I'm gonna be so excited.
And I feel like no one's really like expecting that.
No, not at all.
Charleston and Furman. Like in the second
what a
round of the
matchup!
tournament.
I'm telling you,
matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the Charleston train. Like I said earlier, fast-paced offense, good shooting. That's a recipe for winning in March.
Yeah, Charleston Furman. I don't know. I don't know who can win this game.
It's so crazy.
I think both of those teams are really, really good for being a mid-major. And it's like when you get these types of games where it's like 2 schools that you've barely heard of coming, I like these games more than like the Elite 8 games.
I like
because these teams are going to be back here in a few years.
I know.
It just makes it so much fun.
I wrote down Charleston, but I really, really like Furman. Like, I think Furman could easily win that game because of their balanced scoring.
Yeah.
Are you going to go with Furman?
I'm going to go with Charleston. I already wrote them down.
Be different.
All right, well, I have a different game. I have Charleston and Virginia, but I'm going Charleston.
High-powered offense beats the defense.
Virginia has a middle school offense.
Which is why
I'm not picking them. I'm not picking them out of spite. I hate watching them play.
Alrighty.
All right. Next up,
Got Creighton and Baylor. Riding that Big East train. Give me Creighton. Like I said, I love watching this Creighton team play. They have been one of my favorite teams all year, so I'm going to take Creighton in this one.
I'm going Creighton as well. Like I stated earlier, really the Baylor's defense really worries me.
Yep.
And Creighton has
a
high-powered offense.
They really don't have a tall guy to compete with. Brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Creighton. I think, just the defense. The defense is going to
Worrisome.
be what is basically ultimately.
I feel like that
Baylor's
guard
downfall.
play in that game is basically
nice.
It's going to decide who wins that game.
Yeah.
but it's also going to be. I feel like it could be decided in that in the paint too, because really I don't think Baylor. Yeah, I don't think Baylor has.
Baylor doesn't have a
They don't
guy
have much
that's.
size.
They don't have much size. No.
Yeah.
So that
Especially
could.
against a 7-footer.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going Creighton. We're both going Creighton.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Creighton in this game.
Boy.
And like you said, the Baylor defense really, really concerns me. You all said it's not really going to be an issue until this game. I think could be an issue against the UCSB game. I would not be shocked if Baylor were to lose that game. And I think
Baylor's
that
another one of those teams where they're always just
They're on
seeming
upset watch.
Creighton is really, despite them being a 6 seed, they're really, really, really good. And that Baylor defense is worrisome. And like you said, Baylor doesn't have the size to match up with the spacing and size of Creighton. So I'm also gonna ride with Creighton in that game.
All right. Well, I have the same game, Baylor and Creighton. I have Baylor winning. I'm going another different path again. I think their defense is going to shut your mouth, Nick.
I love.
Why am I getting called out? I said the same thing.
I love the attack.
Baylor, they're going to win this basketball game. All right.
Okay, sweet. So now it's Missouri and Arizona. I know we love Brown for Missouri, but gotta go Arizona here. I'm taking Arizona.
I'm going Arizona as well. I like Missouri, but I think Arizona's just overall a better team.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just gonna ride Arizona for this one.
Yeah, Arizona. I didn't really state it in the Princeton game because I felt like that wasn't even a discussion. But Arizona is really, really, really good. Yeah. And while Missouri can also score a lot of points, Arizona scores at a super high, super efficient level as well. And they just have better overall talent than Missouri does. So I'll ride with Arizona in this game.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I don't even have Missouri winning in the first round. I have Arizona and Utah State.
But I feel like this next game's pretty. Game's pretty easy for you.
I mean, yeah, Arizona. I was just saying that I have a different game.
Yeah.
Same outcome, though.
Okay. I like it.
All right, Sweet 16.
Sweet 16, we got Bama Charleston. Sorry, Charleston. This is where your Cinderella story runs out.
Here.
I don't think they make it past Bama. Bama is just too dynamic of a team, too complete of a team. It could. You don't know what happens in March, but I don't think it's going to happen to Bama.
St. Peter's made the Elite Eight last
I
year.
know. That's the thing, but I just don't.
Peter's was also
But just not against this Alabama team.
Not against this
Not
Bama
against
team.
this Alabama team.
Didn't St. Peter's
They beat Kentucky.
They did beat Kentucky in the first
We were
round.
at the barn when they beat Kentucky.
Exactly. That was a rough. That was a rough.
I
day.
remember.
Trust me, that was a very rough
That was
day.
a rough day. But didn't when St. Peter's eventually did lose, then they get blown out.
Yeah, they got annihilated.
Yeah,
North
they
Carolina
got
beat them by like 20.
They got annihilated.
That's what's going to happen to Charleston this game. I'm sorry, Charleston. Love you, but Alabama's just too good.
They're going to have a good run, but they're going to get annihilated.
Yeah, I can see them losing by 20.
I could too.
I know it's going to be rough, but yeah, I'm going Bama. Pretty easy.
Yeah, if this game happens, I don't think it's going to be particularly close, unfortunately. I would love for it to be. You know how funny it would be if Charleston was like
Elite
right
Eight
there with Alabama and Brandon Miller, but I'm going to take Alabama in this game comfortably.
Yeah, I think the University of Alabama will develop more haters in this game, and they will defeat the Cinderella Charleston.
You did have Charleston.
Yeah,
He did have Charleston.
I just had Bama winning.
All right. Next one is Creighton in Arizona for me. Although I love Creighton, I think Arizona stops their run here. I think Arizona, like we said, I feel like this is a pretty clear. Creighton is a great team, but I feel like Alabama and Arizona are the two teams from this one that are just they're complete teams. They're great teams. So I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm also going to go Arizona. I like you said, I think they're a more complete team. They also have a better offense than Creighton does.
Yes.
And so I think that's going to be what ultimately. And they also they have a big man
Arizona,
to guard whatever his name is. Cockburn. So yeah.
But another thing, I'm sorry, Nick, to butt in here. Arizona has put up over 100 points like 3 times this year.
They've got an offense.
They have an offense. They have a great offense. So go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I'm also going to ride with Arizona in this game. And the reason is they do have the size to match up with Creighton, and their offense is better.
Yes.
And for those reasons, I'm going to take Arizona in this game. I think it'll be a really good game if Creighton does play Arizona. But I think Arizona's got the offensive talent to knock down the shots when they need to.
I do too. I agree with that.
Well, I have Arizona and Baylor.
Okay.
So, I mean, if Baylor doesn't have size, their defense, I think, will slow down in this game, all right?
A little bit, just a little.
Just a little bit. After the great defensive performance against Creighton, they're going to take another step back, all right? I think Arizona's going to win by a hefty sum.
Hefty.
One more thing about Arizona. They're top 10 pace team. They're nearly averaging 73 possessions per game, shooting 38% from 3, 56% from the field. And they have recorded 111 points on 100 possessions. Yeah. So
they have an offense.
They clearly have an offense. So, yeah.
Well, now we got.
I think we all have the same elite.
We got Bama, Arizona all around.
Of the offenses.
I don't know what you guys got. I'm gonna stick with it. Alabama. This is gonna be a battle that brings blood out. This is gonna be a good game, but I'm taking Alabama in this one. I just think Brandon Miller will be too much for them, and I feel like they can guard 1 through 5 all the way around.
I'm going to go Alabama for one reason. They're the 3rd best in adjusted defensive, and Creighton is Arizona, my fault. It's 41st. So I think it's going to be better defense. Team. Both have very good high-powered offenses, but one team has a better defense.
When you're top 5 and 2, both offense and defense, that's
kind of
that's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to go on Bama on this one, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
When this bracket was revealed, I was looking for a team that could beat Alabama, and I feel like Arizona is that team.
You think so?
I do think so. I think if this game comes to fruition, I think Arizona's offense, especially with I think that they have a more balanced team in terms of scoring the basketball.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like if you shut down Brandon Miller, Alabama's offense kind of gets a little stagnant at times.
I would agree with that.
So I'm gonna be different than you all. I'm gonna take Arizona in this game. I think Alabama's run
different.
Yeah.
I like the pick.
I like that you're being different, Nick. You had the
and
same
picking
picks as them
against
before.
Alabama.
Yeah. I'll be different here.
I mean, that's just a spectacular selection you made.
Yeah, it's spectacular. What could possibly go wrong here?
I have Alabama winning.
A lot of things could go wrong here.
I think it's going to be a good game, though. I mean, both of these teams are. I mean, probably like you said, they're both kind of pretty easily the best 2 teams in that region. But
most definitely.
Yeah, I don't think it's a contest.
I feel like Bama definitely got a good draw, though.
Oh, for sure.
They got the best draw.
Until the Elite Eight, Bama's barely going to have to try.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Their toughest game will probably be West Virginia. They'll probably still win that game by like 15.
Exactly. Because even if like Virginia makes it to that point to face Alabama, it's not going to matter.
Virginia is not even really that like spectacular, are they?
I mean, they're a solid team.
Their defense is really, really good. So if they get to Alabama, they could cause them issues. But
I don't think
they're going to get there.
I don't think so.
Alabama's not going to have any issues probably at all.
So we got.
I mean, Arizona will be a good game, but they'll walk.
So we got 3 Alabamas
and 1 Arizona.
And 1 Arizona. I love that.
All right, moving on to the East region. 1v16 Purdue versus Texas Southern or Fairlight Dickerson.
We're just gonna leave it at that. That's we're gonna go with Purdue here.
Do we all have Purdue in this game?
I think we all have Purdue.
I think we all have Purdue.
Purdue.
In this
Zach Edey,
Zach Edey is a cheat code.
He is.
He's not fair.
If you don't have a guy to guard him.
I was watching the Ohio State-Purdue semifinal game, and their entire offense was throw the ball up to Zach Edey and let him
Well, that's
do
the
one
thing.
post
That's
move
the thing
and
with
score.
that offense. you get the balls, you get Zach Edey touches in that game, you're creating so much offense around him. Like, don't get me wrong, he's going to go out
the
and
entire
get his 20.
defense has to collapse and stop him from doing whatever he wants in the low block.
Yes, you have, like, don't get me wrong, he's going to score his 20.
Yeah.
But when you can get the defense to collapse, kick out to your three-point shooters, that's a matchup nightmare. He's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Purdue.
We all have Purdue.
We all got Purdue.
Yeah, I mean, Edey, 7'5",
He's going to win
National Player of the Year.
he's going to win every Player of the Year award this year. He's been phenomenal.
And yeah, Nick, watching that
Ohio State game, literally, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't even mad. It was just funny.
It was honestly
he
funny.
literally would catch them in the post, drop step, hook shot.
Every single
freaking
time. And it would go, and he had, 32?
Yeah.
And then because he was so good, they got Ohio State's tall guy out in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And so at one point, their shooting guard, who was 6'4", was guarding him, and he just got
He's got a foot on him.
yeah,
It's
he
not
literally
even
did.
fair.
And so they had to double him, and then you double him, he kicks out to the shooter because he can just look over you, and then
That's really freaking annoying.
yeah. So I mean, he's their entire offense. Without
He is their entire
I
offense.
genuinely believe without Zach Edey, Purdue is a 500 team or a couple of games over 500.
I agree.
I do not think Purdue is very good outside of Zach Edey.
That's going to be their problem heading into
I think
the
we'll
further
get to
rounds.
that in a next round onward.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, do we need to say anything else, or we got?
Nah, we got it.
Okay.
All right. Next game, 8-9, Memphis and FAU. This is a tough one.
This is a toss.
This is one of my games of the first round.
I absolutely.
I cannot wait to watch this game.
It's a 9:30 game. I can't wait for that.
Is it Thursday or Friday?
It
You know?
is Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
No, Friday.
Friday? All right.
My bad.
It's in Columbus.
It is in Columbus.
It is in
about going to
Columbus.
that game.
I think, like I said, this is a toss-up for me, but I'm going to go Florida Atlantic. 3 losses on the year. They travel very well. I think this is going to come down to the wire. It's just so hard to pick. So, and like Nick said, this is just like a vibe for me. I'm going to go Florida Atlantic.
I'm going to go Florida Atlantic as well. But I think this is going to be the closest 8-9 game. Memphis, 26th in adjusted offense.
Maybe.
35th in adjusted defense. Florida Atlantic, 32nd in adjusted offense, 36th in adjusted defense. It's going to be a heck of a game. Memphis is really hot right now, so it could swing Memphis.
Yes.
But for the sake of knowing their 2 brackets, I'm going to go with Joel and go FAU. 31-3. They're led by Janelle Davis, 13 points as a guard. One thing, Florida Atlantic is young.
They're very young.
A lot of sophomores on their team. They only have, it looks like, 1 senior.
1 senior and 2 juniors.
2 juniors, so they are very young.
So that inexperience could be something. So,
But also, Memphis is also very young.
so it could. Yes.
This game is a toss. This game
This game is literally a
This
toss-up.
game is a toss-up. And so I'm just going to go FAU based on, like Joel said, vibes.
Yeah, I've got Memphis in this game. They really, I know Houston lost Marcus Sasser before this game, but they really impressed me against Houston. And yeah, it's just Florida Atlantic is kind of a young team. Memphis is also kind of young, but they've got
Memphis
6
is
seniors.
not young.
Yeah, Memphis has got 6 seniors on
More
their
than
team.
that.
Yeah,
They have
they're very
90% of
experienced.
their roster is
Yeah.
seniors.
Seniors, yeah.
They were very young last year.
They were very young.
They were
They were
young
very
last
young
year.
last year.
They were young last year. They
They
almost
had
beat
Kendrick
Gonzaga.
Davis is averaging 22.
Kendrick Davis is a piece.
Yeah, I think they've got the best player on the floor in Kendrick Davis too. So I'll take Memphis in this game. I know Florida Atlantic went 31-3. Like they're a really, really, really good team. But yeah, I'm going to go with Memphis in this
I've been
game.
riding Memphis in like every bracket I've done. I wanted to switch.
That's fair.
Well, I had Memphis, so.
I think I'm going to switch mine to Memphis. Memphis sounds good.
Yeah.
Like kind of like you said.
All right.
Best player.
I see how it is.
Best player on the court. Plus, I mean, they got a forward who's averaging 18 and 8, so that's pretty good. And I think they're going to be riding hot from obviously beating the best team in college basketball this year,
Oh, absolutely.
at least record wise,
Yeah.
and the championship.
Here's the thing, there, Mr. Evan. I'm gonna stick with my pick. I'm gonna go FAU.
All right.
But that's okay. Duke and Oral Roberts.
Duke and Oral Roberts, 5-12.
Dude,
I love this game. I love this game, too.
I love this game. Duke is... If Oral Roberts was playing any other 5 seed, I'd be taking Oral Roberts. But I'm taking Duke. Duke is so hot right now. They're finally healthy, playing at the top level that we expected. I'm going to ride Duke.
I'm going to go Duke as well, sadly. Or Roberts, man. Like Joel said, if they were any other team, I would take them without a shadow of a doubt. But they do not match up well with this Duke team at all.
Not at all.
Kyle Filipowski, 7-footer, 15-9. Then you got Roach, who's a small guard. But I think one guy who's going to be a difference in this game is Tyrese Proctor, 6'5" point guard against a 5'9" point guard. Yeah. Obviously Max Asmus is one of the best scorers in the country, but Duke is hot right now. They're the hottest team probably going into March.
Oh, absolutely.
They're fully healthy, and you have the amount of talent that they have. They had literally 5 guys this year in the top ESPN's top 100 freshmen. So they're really good. They just hadn't been healthy this year. So I'm going to have them beating Oral Roberts, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll go with Duke as well. I do think Oral Roberts can win this game, but I do think Max Asmus is going to have to go nuclear.
Yeah.
And just because Duke has been slightly inconsistent, although they have been injured. But they are the hottest team in the country right now going into this tournament. And they're Duke. They're going to have talent out from every single position. Too deep.
Agreed.
I'm going to take Duke in this game. Like you said, if Oral Roberts was playing any other 5 seed, it'd be hard to pick against Oral Roberts. But Duke is just so talented, and they're finally healthy. So I'll take Duke in this game.
Duke.
Yeah, talking about Duke's talent, they had the number 1 recruit in 2022, number 2 recruit in 2022,
number 4.
Number 4, and then 22nd. So their recruiting class was very
average
good.
Duke recruiting class.
But
average.
The Blue Devils.
But overall, that recruiting class underperformed, but they're getting hot at the right time.
Yes, exactly.
And also, shout out, Max Asmus averaging 22 a game he's 6'1". That's not. That can't be right.
He's a 6'1" senior.
He's actually. I thought he was shorter than 6'1".
I did too.
Well, yeah.
Well then,
he's 6'1". Also, little side note.
They have a
7'3" guy. Or Roberts does
from Little Rock.
Yeah,
from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, but yeah.
What a man.
He is not little.
What a guy.
He is not little. That is true.
What a little guy.
All right. Next up, 4-13 Tennessee, Louisiana.
Gosh, this one.
The Volunteers.
This one gives me. I love me a good old Rocky Top.
Yes, sir.
This is a game that I actually have had Tennessee losing. I have had them losing, but I'm gonna go with Tennessee in this one.
Right.
The Ziegler injury definitely puts a big hamper on them. It made a big difference in the SEC tournament. You could tell
They played.
Absolutely.
They lost.
They lost to Missouri.
I thought it was Missouri.
Yeah.
I didn't know off the top of my head.
Don't get me wrong. Tennessee has been they've been a great team all year, but that Ziegler injury is huge. So I'm gonna take Tennessee in this one, but we'll see what happens next round.
I'm gonna go Tennessee as well, just because they have one of the best defenses.
They're a good defensive team.
But without Ziegler, man, that really hurts them. They can't score much at all.
No, it's pretty bad.
Their best player scoring wise is Vescovy, who, he's a crafty guard, but I don't think he's a guy that can really carry the load on offense. Nope. Without Ziegler's really the glue guy for him. Plays really good defense, can get teammates open, and can really has a knack for scoring inside.
Yes.
I think Louisiana. I think they're going to beat him, but I think Tennessee's going to run into some problems here late. Also, one thing about Tennessee, they had a good season. 0-2 versus Kentucky.
0-2 versus Kentucky.
That's all I say.
Gotta throw in that Kentucky stat.
Gotta throw the Kentucky stat.
0-2 versus Kentucky.
I don't think either one of these teams are very good at all, even with a fully healthy Tennessee. I have Tennessee. I have Tennessee winning this game, but there are stretches where Tennessee just decides to not score the basketball, and it's like they beat Auburn 46-43, and Auburn is like not that crazy this year. But there are stretches where Tennessee just can't score. So I have them winning this game, but I don't really like Tennessee as a team, to be honest.
I will also take Rocky Top.
Oh, Rocky Top.
All right, congrats Louisiana for winning this game.
Yeah, congrats to Louisiana for winning this game.
We all have Tennessee in this game.
We have a tendency for this to happen.
I would be okay with Louisiana.
I'd be okay with
I would be too.
I would be highly displeased.
I would be okay.
I love me some good old Rocky Top.
All right, next 6-11, my Kentucky Wildcats versus Providence.
So, your Kentucky Wildcats, I think they're too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think they're way too inconsistent. Give me Providence in this one. Providence is another one of these teams that I love from the Big East. Led by Hopkins, Croswell. They're both studs. Hopkins is out here going 16-8. They have a great team. Like I said, I've loved watching them play. I guess I'm just a sucker for these Big East teams, but I'm going to go Providence in this one because of Hopkins and how shaky Kentucky has been this year.
This is the Bryce Hopkins revenge game.
Yes.
If you don't know, he played for Kentucky last year.
Yes.
He didn't play much at all. Now he's balling out in Providence, so good for him.
Good for him.
But it's not going to be enough. Kentucky's going to win this game. But I do agree. I mean, I've watched my fair share of Kentucky games this year, and I've been fairly disappointed in most of those games. This team is a roller coaster. I mean,
yes, they
they're
are.
shaky. They're shaky at best. I can see them losing this game, and I can see them going really far. It just depends on what team shows up. My only issue with Kentucky, they cannot shoot the basketball.
No,
oh my goodness.
No, it's bad.
It is really bad. They are shooting, let's see, 35% from three.
Like that's
not terrible.
That's a good clip.
Yeah,
but
it has to be consistent.
But on eye test, it's bad. We have two scores.
They probably have a few outlier games where they'll shoot like 50%.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
That'll skew their overall.
There's
stats.
two players on this team that I believe that can consistently hit an open 3-point shot. That is Antonio Reeves and CJ Frederick.
Yep.
Jacob Toppin is a great player. He has made
brother of Obi Toppin, by the way.
Better, but he's a much improved 3-point shooter, but he's not great.
No.
And also one thing for Kentucky, they do have Shibwe, one of the best players in college basketball. 16-13, great center. But one thing is Kentucky did have a disappointing SEC tournament. They lost to Vanderbilt, which did suck.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
I know, but I think that's gonna help them because they were without Severe Wheeler, starting point guard. Cason Wallace just came off of a leg injury. He wasn't 100%. CJ Frederick has a bruised rib, which he said he can barely breathe when he is playing. So Kentucky is a little banged up right now, but I think with them getting that extended period of rest, I think that they will be able to get healthy. But I think this game's is gonna fall on two players' shoulders. Antonio Reeves and Oscar Tshiebwe. If Oscar Tshiebwe can do what he's been doing and get 15 and 10, I think that's a good sign. And then if Antonio Reeves can have another offensive explosion, if he could score 20, I think that helps him a lot. But this team just really struggles to score the basketball. That's my only issue with them. But I got to ride with them, so I got to beat Providence.
Can I just say something real quick? I went on Twitter, right? TMZ, Cincinnati Bengals stars Jamar Chase and T. Higgins partied on a yacht with a group of women in Miami. And both tweets, headline, 2 adults live lives. And then another guy...
It's not news.
And then another guy goes, and the problem is...
That's so dumb.
That's so stupid.
Wait, so nothing went wrong?
No.
They're just
Thank
partying
God.
on a yacht in Miami.
They're just on a yacht together.
Well, thank the good Lord
What
they didn't
the
pull
heck?
a gun on Instagram Live and get suspended for the season.
Shout out, Joe.
right.
Back to you, Nick.
Back to the bracket. I got Kentucky in that game. Kentucky's got Oscar Tshiebwe coming back, and they also are just a more talented team. Providence has been kind of inconsistent, although they do play in the Big East, so they're probably a better team than the 11 seeds giving them credit for. But I think Kentucky will show up. I think the good version of Kentucky will show up this day. I'll take the Wildcats.
I have the shaky Kentucky.
The shaky Kentucky.
Yeah.
One thing to note about Bryce Hopkins is he went from 2 points a game to 16 points a game.
He's balling out.
So
He is freaking awesome.
last year on Kentucky.
He is.
So he's one of the most improved players.
That's my thing with the Big East, because they beat teams like Xavier. They've fought with Marquette.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, the Big East.
That's why I like them. So
Xavier's the crosstown rival of my university.
of my university.
All right.
Oh wait, no, they didn't even make it. Never mind.
No, they aren't even in
They didn't
there. I
even
did
have-
watch that game, and they suck.
They're in the NIT.
Yeah, like you said, Providence would compete with like Xavier and like Marquette and whatnot, but then they'd also drop games to like Seton Hall
Seton Hall was a team
and like
though.
St.
Like
John's.
Seton Hall this year was so up and down. It's similar to how I'm not gonna trying to bash your Kentucky Wildcats here, but they were so up and down too.
They
It's just
they
like,
deserve all of it.
but they were there's
I'm not impressed with them at all.
but that
I have
just
little
shows.
faith in them
Yeah.
to do anything.
You haven't.
That just shows.
I do, but
I have little faith, but Sweet 16.
but I could also see me having a repeat of last year and losing in the first.
Hey, at least you expect it this time.
Yeah,
That's true.
makes it,
and it's
even
not
better
against
if
the
they-
15 seed.
It's not
it
against.
easier
It's not against the
for you.
Peacocks of St. Peter's.
Providence is a legit team.
Next one.
Yeah,
It's a legit team this time.
it is. All right, moving on. Next game, 3 versus 14. Kansas State, Montana State.
I got Kansas State. Kansas State, they got the coach of the year in the Big 12. I don't know what it is, but he seems to have figured something out with this team, because this team was supposed to be the worst team in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're predicted to finish last.
They were predicted to finish last. They have figured it out. They have a guard. He is so freaking crazy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Noel?
Yep, Noel. He is ungodly, and he's only 5'7". What? 5'7" guard. He can shoot.
Averaging
He can
17.
dime up. This dude can dime up.
He's averaging 17 and 8.
I'm not even kidding. He is so fun to watch. I'm going to go Kansas State in this one, and we're going to go with it.
I'm also going Kansas State. Yes, Kansas State. They rank 52nd in offense, 19th in defense.
Defense.
They're led by Keontae Johnson,
Yes.
who has been a stud, averaging 18, 7, 2. Transferred from Florida.
The only thing with them, you got to make sure Keontae Johnson does not get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Because that really hurt them playing TCU the other night.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem for them. So.
And like you said, Noel is a great guard as well. I like Kansas State, but they're another one of those really like shaky
teams.
Like it just depends what type of Kansas
They
State
don't travel
you're
well.
getting.
They don't travel well either.
Yeah. So I mean they're playing Montana State. So
I feel like they should be okay.
This game, at least,
I'm not
yeah.
too worried, but in the future, there definitely is worrisome. But yeah, I'm gonna go Kansas State.
Yeah, I'll go with Kansas State too. I don't see a way in which Montana State wins this game. I don't think Montana State's a particularly good mid-major. And yeah, I know Kansas State doesn't travel well, but they still have Keontae Johnson, and that's all you really need to beat a team like Montana State. So I'll go with Kansas State.
I think you will see the way.
I'll see the way.
You will see the way.
All right.
Montana State is going to win this game.
Big upset.
Big upset alert. I love it.
Vibe pick? Is that a vibe pick?
That's a vibe.
That's a
pick.
vibe
That's a vibe pick. Montana, man. I'm going with them.
Go with the Bobcats of Montana State.
Bobcats of Montana
Yes,
State,
sir.
baby.
All right. Next up, 7-10 Michigan State US.
Like we've said multiple times, I feel like these games are toss-ups. But I'm going to give this one to Michigan State. I I feel like over in the Pac-12, you have like 2 or 3 clear-cut teams in there. 2 for sure, UCLA and Arizona.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
don't really-
They're leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else in
Yes.
that conference.
And then after that, it's like, okay, I just don't have the confidence in USC to go out and beat Izzo-led Michigan State team. I know Michigan State isn't as good as what they have been in the past. I just feel like Michigan State takes care of business in this one. Michigan State.
I'm going Michigan State as well. Before I get into my reason why, just want to give Coach Izzo his flowers. He set the record for 25 straight NCAA tournament appearances.
Congratulations,
Coach
sir.
K.
Wow.
It's really impressive.
Congratulations.
But yeah, Michigan State. I've actually watched a lot of Michigan State recently because my roommate and his brother are big Michigan State fans. But yeah, I think Michigan State they have had an interesting season. They started off a little bit shaky, finished 19-12, but they've been playing decent.
They've been playing well.
They've been playing good basketball.
Good basketball
led by Tyson Walker, who I think is a phenomenal guard, averaging 14, 2.5 rebounds, 3 assists. I think he's great. Joey Hauser is a great big sharpshooting forward. Then you got AJ Hogard, who is a very good complement to Walker, and then Malik Hall is a great scorer as well. I think this team has a lot of experience. They got some guys who can really score the basketball, and for that reason, I think they're going to beat USC. And yeah, I'm going to go with the Sparties.
Yeah, I've also got Michigan State in this game. I'm not going to bet against Tom Izzo at this point. I don't know when. Actually, I do know when he's lost in the first round. It was against Middle Tennessee when I picked them to win the national title. So that was really fun.
I forgot about that.
I did too.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
I don't ever bet against Tom Izzo. At least at this point in March. And like you said, he's led them to 25 straight NCAA tournament appearances. But yeah, I don't. USC's kind of inconsistent. I don't really trust them. So I'll take Michigan State in this game. I'm not going to bet against Tom Izzo at this point in the tournament.
Zach.
Yep, I agree. Michigan State.
I'm hoping this game is a blowout so we can see a Steve Izzo.
Yeah, Steve Izzo.
Steve Izzo.
Steve, get him in the game.
Weaver, do you know who Steve Izzo is? This is Steve Izzo. That is Coach Izzo's son.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
5'8".
The only reason he's on the team is because he's Izzo's son.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
it.
We love it.
Big Steve.
We
Big
love
Steve
it.
Izzo.
We love it.
All right, round of 32.
We got like Marquette and Vermont. Do we all have Marquette in that game?
Marquette.
Vermont.
Oh,
What?
sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Zach.
Marquette, Vermont. I mean, everyone. Okay.
Other than Zach.
I mean, do you?
Zach, what do you why do you feel Vermont?
5 pick.
Count them out.
Marquette is a powerhouse.
Marquette is Marquette is playing at a level of basketball that
This is why I'm telling you.
Shaka Smart is...
This team is
Just has that.
unreal.
Although Shaka Smart hasn't
really stupid.
Shaka
Kolek-
Smart
I
hasn't
guess
won an
they can take it
NCAA
back
tournament game since 2013, but
Kolek is a freak.
Kolek is a
love
demon.
Kolek.
I love
Kolek is a demon.
That team is so good.
What do you have, like 20 points in the championship game?
They blew out Xavier like it wasn't even close.
They beat him by 30.
Yeah.
20.
It was this Marquette team. I feel like this is a team that could seriously go far.
They also weren't picked to finish super
No,
high
they were.
in the
They were
Bs.
projected
They were like
to be
ninth.
one of the worst teams too.
Yeah.
Like-
All right, well, I can't take that back, but I made a really bad pick. And I'm gonna stick with it. So, Vermont.
I'm taking Marquette though. Marquette is
Everybody
all
but
the
me
way.
took Marquette.
so good.
I mean, Kolek's averaging 13 and 8. Which is really good.
He was the player of the year. They
so
they
her-
won like literally every league award for the Big
Yeah.
East. Head coach
Marquette is a unit.
Marquette is a unit. They're
They're
unreal.
so good.
We're keeping your egregious pick. I did hear someone said that, or one of the announcers when I was watching Marquette's game said that Kolek's like a little Steve Nash.
Little Steve Nash. I like that.
The way he passes.
that.
Yeah, Kolek is a beast.
I like
his,
that.
I like his game a lot.
What have I done? He says.
What have I
moving
done?
on to the round of 32. Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit. But first round of 32. Joel.
Ignore that phone call. I'm gonna go Purdue.
Where do you have Purdue, Memphis?
Yeah, I had Purdue and FAU. This is the one that I was different for once. I'm going Purdue. It's a Zach Edey effect.
Yep.
I don't think FAU can really compete with that. I don't think this will be the game that Purdue gets debunked. So I'm going to go Purdue.
Go Purdue as well. Zach Edey. That's all I got to say.
All I got to say. All right, I got Purdue and Memphis. One of the big things in March that you have to have is experienced backcourt.
Correct.
Purdue does not have that.
This is very
at
true.
all. Their entire offense is get the ball to Zach Edey and move around him.
Yep.
I don't like Purdue. I don't like Purdue. I don't like Purdue at all. I think they're gonna be the first 1 seed to get bounced. I'm going to take. I have Purdue on the bracket right now. I'm going to take Memphis in this game. Ooh. I think Memphis has the experience. I think Memphis has the experience. I think Memphis has the defense. And I'm gonna ride with the Tigers this game. I think I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna put down Memphis.
I
have Purdue.
I actually like that pick though. I feel like they
Goodbye,
could.
Boilermakers.
I feel like they definitely could make that happen.
If
Purdue's frauds.
If Memphis gets past FAU, I think they can beat Purdue. I don't think FAU can beat Purdue.
Yeah.
But I think so. I just picked Memphis to beat Purdue. But I think Memphis is going to win that game if they play each other.
All right, next up.
Zach, what you did say?
Yeah, I said Purdue.
Okay. Duke, Tennessee. I'm taking Duke. Like I said, the Ziegler injury factors in big here, but I just think, like we said, Duke is the hottest team in college basketball right now. So I'm going to go Duke.
I'm going Duke as well. Hottest team in basketball right now. Ziegler injury plus without Ziegler, Tennessee can't really score. So I think Tennessee's going to meet its match in Duke. Plus Tennessee has lost some bad games. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got Duke in this game. I think it's not even going to be close. To be honest, I think Duke could genuinely win by like 25, 30 points.
I could see
this
it.
Game. A fully healthy Duke team is more like a 2 seed.
Yeah.
And they're proving that, and I don't think Tennessee is very good at all. So I'm gonna ride Duke.
Let's go dancing.
That's sad. I have Duke.
How is that sad, Zach?
Because I like Tennessee.
Oh.
It's a great,
Rocky
freaking
Top.
state.
Rocky
He
Top.
loves his Rocky Top.
I do. It is a great state. I root for them in every sport, and I don't think they're going to beat Duke.
Okay, they didn't leave a message. We're good. Okay. Then we got, I don't know, it's just a random number from
I
Sydney.
should have answered. That would have been great.
I should have. Providence, Kansas State. I'm riding Hopkins. Give me Providence. Like I said, I think.
Pick.
Huh?
So that's a pick. So that's a pick. I didn't expect that.
I honestly, don't get me wrong. I love Kansas State.
Yeah.
Their inconsistency. They've shown they can be that top team that could potentially make that Elite Eight run, but they've also shown that possibility of being bumped in the first, second round.
Yeah.
And I think Providence, great team. I just think Providence takes care of business. I got Providence in my Sweet 16.
I am going to go.
You had Kentucky.
This is the battle of shaky teams. Teams who both, all in all, aren't great. But I trust Kentucky a little bit more. Just because they have more talent. But Kansas State, I liked them mid-season. And then they started losing a lot. And I don't think
That's usually how it goes.
they're kind of cold right now. So because of that, I'm going to go with Kentucky. Will it be an ugly game? Absolutely. But I'm going to go to Kentucky on this one.
I think, just double checking. Yeah, I also have Kentucky and Kansas State. I went with Kansas State in this game. Both these teams are very inconsistent. It's one of those picks where it's vibe selection. I think it's if Kentucky plays Kansas State, I think it's kind of a coin flip. It's going to depend on what team shows up that day. And I wrote Kansas State down So I'll go with Kansas State.
All right, I had Kentucky and Montana State, and I'm going to take Kentucky.
You should take him Montana State. Should have rolled with
Roll with the Bobcats.
I will take Kentucky in this matchup.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Hey, so Marquette and MSU? Or did you guys do that already?
No.
Okay.
Wait,
Marquette, Michigan State. Definitely going to go Marquette here. Like I said, Marquette's a team that can make a deep run. I'm going to ride Marquette here.
I'm also going to go Marquette for all the reasons you said, Joel. I just think they're a better overall team. They've been consistent more, and yeah, I think I got Marquette.
Yeah, I've also got Marquette in this game. Like I said earlier, they are playing at an elite level.
Yes.
They won the Big East, and it wasn't particularly close against Xavier, which really impressed me. And like I said, I know Shaka Smart hasn't won an NCAA tournament game since 2013, but he's got no reason to not make a run this year.
Exactly.
So I'm going to take Marquette in this game.
All right, well, this was my god-awful pick.
I have
I'm going to laugh when Vermont beats Marquette.
This was my really bad take, and because of that, I have Michigan State winning.
You should have stuck with Vermont.
You should have. You should have wrote it out. You should have
Third
wrote it
straight year, a 15 seed goes to the Sweet 16.
May as well.
All right, second round? No, third round. Sorry, Sweet 16.
Sweet 16, Purdue, Duke. This is where the Purdue's run ends. I'm going Duke.
I'm going Duke as well. I think Purdue isn't as good as everyone thinks they are. Without Zach, other than Zach Edey, they're pretty bad. So,
consistent. Like
yep.
you said, 500.
You had him out in the second
Yeah,
round.
I have
and
Memphis.
I think if Duke healthy, I got him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Duke.
I think I've got Memphis, Duke, like I just said. I've also got Duke in this game. They're on fire right now, and I don't see any way in which they don't make it to the Elite Eight, barring injury.
Yep. I have Duke over Purdue.
Good call. Providence, Marquette for me.
Out of the Big East.
Battle of the Big East here. I'm riding Marquette. We're going to take Marquette in this one. I think that while they have played each other very close all year, or relatively close, I think Marquette takes care of business in this one.
I'm going Marquette over Kentucky. I think Marquette's going to win by like 15 or 16. I think Kentucky is not as good as the Marquette team. Marquette is leaps and bounds better.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got Marquette and Kansas State. I'm also going to go with Marquette. Kansas State is too inconsistent for me. And after a break, I don't know if they're going to get off the jump as well as they would like to. And Marquette they're really, really good. So I'll go with Marquette.
I have Kentucky and Michigan State. And I'm going with Michigan State.
Ooh. Wow.
Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo. It's his month.
It's the Izzo month.
Hey, very well could happen.
Gosh. This one is so hard.
What, Duke Marquette?
Duke Marquette.
I don't have it filled out. I was going to wait till we got to this point to make my pick.
I had it filled out, but I think I'm going to change it. I think this is where Duke's run ends. I think Marquette...
They are that good this year?
Marquette is really good.
Marquette is nuts.
So I made
they are
a
nasty.
profusely awful.
I mean, it's
Well,
March. It's March,
here's the thing.
Zach.
They said,
you never know.
said the exact same thing about Kentucky last
Yes,
year.
they
and
did.
They lost in the fifth, and they lost in the first
They
round.
lost to St. Peter's.
So it can happen.
Anything can happen in March.
But when you look at this Marquette team,
We'll
it's
look
just
back on this,
so...
and you would just have made the most
Var-
expert pick.
Vermont is going to win. I'm telling you.
But I can't... I've been hyping up the Big East like it's my job on this podcast.
You definitely have been.
But I love Duke, like being healthy, but I just got to go with Marquette in this one. I think Marquette takes care of business. This is going to be a very tight game, similar to what we had with the Bama-Arizona game. I'm going to go Marquette.
I'm going Marquette as well. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It's going to be a shootout. Yeah, I mean, Duke, yes, they're healthy. Yes, they're hot. But I think Marquette's they're just complete. I feel like they have what it takes. They have more experience. Plus, out of bias, I cannot have Duke in my Final Four.
I mean, it's Duke, though. I mean, okay, wait. I don't even have the matchup that you guys have. I have Duke and Michigan State, so I'm taking Duke.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I have.
Did they play early on this year?
My thing
I
is,
think so.
yeah, they did at the beginning of the year.
Did Michigan State win?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Even if they did, it doesn't matter. That was
Because
really
you have
bad.
that like showcase at the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
it's
I-
got
actually,
Kentucky,
I think
Kansas,
I think
Duke,
they
Michigan
took
State.
Can we also just say this? Duke being a 5, right, is freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I mean, I get
Yeah.
it.
I get it, but
They didn't win the games that they needed to when they were
yes,
hurt.
yeah,
But,
they
but
weren't
like
good
it's
until they got
just
healthy.
it's just hard to believe.
yeah.
There was a time where Duke was like really,
Really
bad.
bad. They were on the verge of being like North Carolina. at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah, like Dariq Whitehead was looking like an absolute bust.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah,
gotten
I've
over
also got Duke and Marquette. If Duke still had Coach K, I would take Duke in this game.
The lack of experience at
But
coach.
they don't, and Shaka Smart is a better head coach. But you all both picked Marquette, so
You want to be different.
I want to be different, but
be different.
Pick Duke. I have Duke.
well, I just told Noah yesterday that I wasn't picking Duke to get out of the region. So I think for that reason I have to pick Marquette here.
Also, one thing to
If Vermont wins, I'm gonna If Vermont wins, I'm gonna cry.
I really hope Vermont
One
wins
thing
that
to look at.
what was it? I read something.
I'm picking Marquette.
I read
I'm gonna go with
something
Marquette.
that no first-year head coach
Has ever won.
has ever won, or it might have even been made to the Final Four. So
Well, this is going to be the first.
it
Well,
might have been-
I've
It
got.
might have been one, maybe not Final Four, but it might have been one. But yeah,
This will be the first year then.
I gotta adjust some brackets at home. But yeah, so I got Marquette.
I think we all have Marquette.
We all
and
have
he's got
Marquette,
Duke.
and he's got Duke.
Yeah, this
I don't
region.
even have them playing Marquette, though. I'm pulling for Vermont so
Zach.
hard in that game now.
Zach, are you heading out now?
Well, I mean, I was going to...
Oh yeah, how about this? We get Zach's Final Four.
Yeah, give us
And
your Final
give
Four.
us
I
your-
don't have a Final Four. I just was going to do the last two regions here. We didn't even pick this game, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We just picked
We
that
just
game.
picked that
game.
Oh, well,
We
then,
just
yeah,
picked that
I'm
game.
good then.
Zach,
Okay.
just take a quick glance at the
At the bracket.
bracket and
pick two people.
pick two people, and then pick your national champion. So we got that.
Texas or Xavier? Texas. So.
Okay, say your Final Four.
Oh, my
and your
Final
national
Four?
championship.
I have Alabama against Duke. Alabama wins. And then Houston against UCLA. And UCLA wins. And then Bama wins the whole thing.
All right,
Nice, I like it.
Zach is going to leave us
Adios.
for today.
Goodbye, Zach.
Zach, thank you
Yes,
for your
I'm
input.
signing off.
Signing off, ladies and gentlemen.
We will see you later. All right. Moving on to the Midwest region. Houston versus Northern Kentucky.
We'll
All
keep
three
this.
of us have Houston.
We'll
Yeah,
keep
we'll
that
keep
one
it
pretty
short.
short. Houston's the probably one of the best teams, if not the best team in the country.
Yep.
So we're gonna keep
Marcus
that.
Sasser, although is he playing Thursday?
We saw something.
So Marcus Sasser,
It's a grade
as of
one.
right now,
It's a grade one
has
groin
a
pull.
potentially grade 1 groin pull, which means he could be out at least 2 weeks.
So that puts him at.
All right, I'm going to change something real quick.
So that puts him at potentially coming back in the Sweet 16.
if they.
Okay, never mind.
Unless he,
I don't know.
It's tough.
unless he like fights through it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
we'll see. We'll just
I
have
don't
to
think
wait.
they're going to need him against Northern Kentucky.
No, not at all. Hot. No,
So-
if they need him, I doubt it.
I'm not. I'll make
Yeah, that
I'll
injury is different.
pick.
It is definitely an interesting one. It was a scary one too. Did you guys see that?
I didn't watch it, but
Oh
I
my
saw
gosh,
it.
he just he's dribbling, goes to make a cut, and just collapses.
That's not. That's not.
That's not.
It looked like it could have been like a
ACL.
ACL. Yeah, no kidding.
All right, moving on. 8-9 Iowa and Auburn.
This is a battle. This is a game that I am so intrigued by. Iowa's offense, good.
This is Auburn's defense.
Exactly. Auburn's defense is top notch, and that's part of the reason why they're in this tournament, because of that defense. I know there's been a consistent thing about how high-powered pretty good offenses tend to win, but I'm taking Auburn in this one. I like Auburn's defense too much. I think they take care of business against Iowa.
Going Auburn as well. Like you said, they have a really good defense. They also are 48th in offense, which isn't the best, but top 50.
Yeah.
Still good. And then Iowa.
Good enough.
Iowa is third on offense, but Their defense is 167th.
Yeah, they're
167th.
yes.
So their defense is horrible. And because of that, I'm going to have Auburn led by Wendell Green.
Yes.
Plus, Bruce Pearl is a great coach.
He's good.
And the SEC is a lot more competitive than Big Ten is.
That's true. I'll be different. I've got Iowa.
different.
Because I do think that good offense beats good defense. Yeah, I'll take Iowa in this game. Although they are playing this game in Birmingham, and Auburn. Auburn loves home games.
It's basically a home game.
Yeah.
There's certain games in this that are basically home games.
Yeah, this is one of them for Auburn. I'm still going to take Iowa, though. I like their offense. Their offense is, like you said, third in adjusted efficiency. So I'll be different. I'll take Iowa in this game.
What if we change the podcast name to Be Different?
Be different.
Be Different.
Seems to come out.
It does. It does. Okay, now we got Miami versus Drake. This is one that's tough.
That's a really good
This
game.
is a great matchup.
This whole sub-region of 4 teams is...
This is this part of the bracket is like insane. It's crazy. I think depending on the team that shows up for Miami, they could be bumped right away, or they could make a run. I'm gonna lean Miami in this one. I think it's gonna be a crazy game though. But yeah, I'm gonna go Miami.
I'm going to go Drake. Ooh. I like Miami. I like Isaiah Wong, ACC Player of the Year. Had a phenomenal season. But Drake is led by Tucker DeVries, who's averaging 19.
Missouri Valley Player of the Year. Ain't he a sophomore, too?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And yeah, I think, again, like Baylor, like Virginia, Miami always seems to be in the talks of upsets. And
especially if they're a higher seed.
Yeah. And
or if they're like a lower seed, they're tending to be the guy
They tend to be the team making the upsets.
Yeah. And so...
They made a run last year.
Never forget when Isaiah Wong dunked on what's-his-face from Auburn. What's this guy, the center?
Drake has a decent defense. They're top 15 defense.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But
He's in the NBA. I know who it is. What's his name?
For who?
He played on Auburn last year, and he's in the NBA now. He's a center.
Oh, Walker Kessler?
Yeah, Walker Kessler. That's his name. I never forget when Isaiah Wong dunked on Walker Kessler last year.
That's right.
But I'm going to go with Drake on this one. I have 2. That's not 5-12, is it?
This is 5-12, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have 2 12-5s. Okay, yeah. Drake.
All right. I got Miami in this game. I love their backcourt. And that's why I'm going to take them in this game. Drake is also one of those teams. I don't think Drake matches up particularly well with Miami. And I really like Miami's backcourt. And that's kind of what you need to have in March to win games. So I'll take Miami in this one.
Okay, so we got 2.
Tucker DeVries is a 6'7" guard.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Tucker DeVries is a demon. If he comes back, he's going to be scary. He should come back, although he might transfer. I don't know.
That is a demon.
If he has a good run.
Okay, so now it's Indiana and Kent State.
Indiana and Kent State.
What a game.
This is going to be...
This is like the game I'm looking forward to watching the most in the first round. Yes, Indiana, Kent State.
I could see it. I personally, it's probably in my top 5, but I have a different one. But Indiana, great team. Lack consistency sometimes. But I feel like Indiana takes care of business against Kent State. I like Kent State team. They've showed that they can be dynamic and dominate. But I'm going to go Indiana.
I'm going to go Indiana as well. They're 27th in offensive rating, 43rd in defensive rating, and they're led by Trish Jackson Davis, who's an absolute monster. 21, 11, and 4 on the season. And I do also like Kent State, but I think Trish Jackson Davis is just going to overpower them. There's not really much I don't think they have a player that can guard him. And I also think Jalen Hood, how do you say his last name? Shafino. I think he's going to have a big game. I like his game a lot as a freshman. So I think Indiana's going to take this one. I think it's going to be...
It's going to be a close game.
I was a toss-up between if I was going to go Miami or Drake upset or Indiana Kent State upset.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with Indiana.
I like it.
Mike Woodson. Sorry.
Yeah. I have Kent State in this game.
I had a feeling you would.
Because Indiana is so inconsistent. Kent State has.
They're coming off a loss.
Kent State, they had a little bit of a lull, but they've been dominant in the MAC this whole year, and I think everyone's kind of had their eye on Kent State in terms of a potential mid-major that could make some noise early on in the tournament. Kent State, they score super efficiently.
You want to talk about their inconsistency? There's games that Indiana played this year where they
just don't.
They lost to Iowa by 20 over 20.
They lost to Kansas by 20.
They lost to Penn State.
Kansas is really good, so that is what it is.
19.
Lost to Maryland by 11. Michigan State by 15.
Indiana's incredibly. And don't get me wrong, Trace Jackson Davis is really good.
Yes.
No, I'm not a Big Ten player of the year. Edie won that. But Trace Jackson Davis
if Edie wasn't there.
If Edie wasn't there, Jackson Davis would have. Trace Jackson Davis is really good. But I have a feeling that Kent State is going to pull this one out.
I really like that pick.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. Like we said, these two games I feel like are toss-ups.
I just couldn't have two upsets back to, I couldn't have a...
You couldn't have two 12-13 seeds facing.
I couldn't have two 12-13 seeds facing in the round of 32. That just isn't
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, next up, Iowa State and Mississippi State or Pitt.
I like Iowa State in this one. This is a team I really don't know a ton about. I know they've had games where they're amazing, but there's also games where they're kind of terrible. So, but I don't think it'll be enough for Mississippi State or Pitt to take care of business. So I'm going to go Iowa State.
I'm going to go Iowa State as well. Their offense isn't the greatest, ranked 96th, but their defense is top 10. They're ranked 8th in defense.
You gotta realize that you gotta pride yourself on defense in the Big 12, and that's definitely something they've.
That's how good the Big 12 is, for sure.
Yeah, and they're a very experienced team. Yes, they have a lot of bad losses. Lost to Iowa,
UConn,
Missouri. But like you guys both said, the Big 12 is really good. And so I think...
Elite.
I think they're going to take this one. I think it'll probably be a good game depending on who wins, but I think Iowa's just better than both of these 11 seeds.
Good call.
Yeah.
Also, before you should go next, sorry. One thing about Pitt, they were like a lock.
Yeah, that's
going into the selection Sunday, I thought.
And then they got
the shaft.
They're in the first four.
Got to the
that
first
didn't make
four.
sense, dude.
I said earlier, I think that they should have swapped with NC State, but
I agree with that.
I'm not on the selection committee, so. Speaking of Pitt, I actually like Pitt to win the first four and then also beat Iowa State.
It always seems like
there's always one team in the first four that'll win at least one. I mean, UCLA went to the Final Four from the first four 2 years ago.
Yeah, that is right.
But yeah, I like Pitt in this game. I think Iowa State, they started off the year really, really well, but I think they went 6-10 over their last 16 games. So I don't really think they're super hot. I know Pitt isn't hot either. They got blown out against Duke in the ACC tournament, but it's Duke. Yeah. It's a fully healthy Duke team.
Yeah.
So I like Pitt to beat Mississippi State and then also beat Iowa State in this game, just because they were one of the top teams in the ACC for a large part of this season. And yeah, it's one of those games where I have a feeling that Pitt is gonna pull it out.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely tough because you got to wait and see which one it is. Because how do you feel?
If Mississippi State wins, I'm taking Iowa State.
Okay,
but
that's what I was about ready to ask you. Because I considered it if Pitt won, but I don't have as much confidence in Mississippi State. Next one is
Xavier and
Kennesaw State.
The Owls of Kennesaw State.
Oh man, I love Xavier. Xavier, I feel like with this part of the bracket, you have a bunch of up and down teams.
Yeah,
that could be upset or anything like that. I like Xavier a ton. I feel like they have shown that they are capable of beating top-notch teams. They beat UConn. They've hung with Marquette both times this year, except for in the final in the Big East tournament. But then they also have games where they lose to get people like DePaul and have close games against Seton Hall's, just teams like that. Cincinnati at one point too. But I don't think Kennesaw State will be able to compete with them. I'm going to go with Xavier.
You're going to go with Xavier as well. They're 9th in offense rating, 70th in defensive rating, led by Colby Jones, who is going to be a first-round pick. He's a great guard.
They got a big boy, too.
And then
Nunji,
yeah, he's averaging 14 and 8. And then they also have another guard, senior Sully Bohm. Yeah, Bohm.
Yep, Bohm.
Who's averaging 16 and a half.
He's a freak.
He's really good. But I will say, one thing with this Kennesaw State team, I have watched them in person. I watched them beat my Flames, sadly. Their backcourt
Ungodly.
is nice. Chris Youngblood and Terrell Burden are dogs. They're scorers. They get to the rim with ease. They can shoot. So Kennesaw State is not a joke team, but they also went from having like 3 wins.
It was one win in 2019.
Yeah, to here, so they could be. But I'm just saying they got a good backcourt. Could give Xavier a little bit of problems early, but I'm going to go with Xavier. They've played the Big East this year. Has been really good. They played better teams. They're better all around. I think Xavier's going to win, but I think Kennesaw is going to shock them a little bit early. But I think Xavier's going to settle in and coming out with a pretty big win.
Yeah, like you said, Kennesaw State's backcourt could give Xavier fits, but at the end of the day, Xavier just has better talent across the board.
Yep.
So I'll take Xavier in this game. But shout out to Kennesaw State. They went 1-28 in 2019, I think. Was it 2019? Yeah. They won one game in 2019, and now they're in the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. And like you said, Chris Youngblood is very, very good, but that backcourt is great. But I'm going to take Xavier in this one.
Nice. That game was tough to watch.
Yeah, Darius McGee decided to sell on national television.
Did you hear that? I drove 7 hours to go to Georgia and watch the game just for us to lose by a free throw.
It's tough. Yeah, Darius sold, bro. He was 0 for 12 from 3. They locked him up. It's tough. But hey, Liberty tonight, Villanova in the NIT at Liberty. It's going to be a good game. Liberty will probably lose, but it'll be a good game. All right, moving on. We got Texas A&M Penn State 7-10.
This is a great 7-10 game.
This is a great 7-10 game.
Before you go, Joel, what do you think about Texas A&M being ranked as a
I think they got
shafted.
They got
yes. shafted.
Dude, how is the number 2 team in the SEC getting a 7?
Yeah, that's terrible.
How? That doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
How is St. Mary's a 5 seed?
I can understand that.
Aiden, or whatever you say his name, the freshman beast.
I can't. I struggle with them being a 7 because I saw this matchup and I thought Texas A&M should be higher for 1.
I would have put him over Xavier probably.
A&M over Xavier? I don't know about that.
I think they could have been a 4 or a 5.
They should have been like a 5 seed.
I would say a 5.
They should have been a 5 seed.
The fact that they're a 7 is disrespectful, and I feel like that could be their motivation. Mm-hmm. But Penn State's hot.
Yeah,
I freaking love this Penn State team, led by Jalen Pickett. He is a freak. He leads their team in all categories. And heading into that game against Purdue for the Big Ten championship, I'm thinking, they're getting destroyed. And they only lose by 2.
And then they didn't get destroyed.
Well, the fact you start off that game down almost double digits to a team like Purdue with Edey, and you come back, and it just shows that you're tested and you're able to.
You're resilient.
You're a resilient team. Yes.
Weren't they down by a lot? Like, didn't they make a massive run at the end to kind of make the score closer than it was? Yes. They had a chance to win the game, though.
They did.
So
they did.
You have to give them credit for that.
So that's why I am going with Penn State in this game. I love how Penn State's playing right now. It's the first time they've been there in a while, too.
2011 was the last time they were here, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
But I'm going Penn State.
I'm going Penn State as well. They have a good offense led by Jalen Pickett, who is an absolute stud. And their coach is good, Micah Shrewsbury. he's good. And like you said, watching them in that Big Ten championship game,
Just their entire run. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because going into the Big Ten tournament, they were like, all right, in order for them to get in comfortably, they need to win like one game.
Yeah, they need
one
to
or two
games, and then they make it to the Big Ten championship.
And they're like, okay, yeah, they're
so they really
fine.
impressed me doing that. And I just think Jalen Pickett, he could score the basketball, and I think that's going to be ultimately the reason why they beat
senior
Texas
guard.
A&M.
Yeah, I've got Texas A&M in this game. I think they were incredibly disrespected being a 7 seed.
I do too.
And I think it's really unfortunate for Penn State that they got drawn up against Texas A&M. Part of the reason, I mean, selfishly, I want to see Texas A&M and Texas play each other. So I picked A&M in this game. I think this is a toss-up. I think this is going to be a really, really, really good game. I could very easily see Penn State win with Jalen Pickett, but I'll be different than you all. I'll go with Texas A&M.
Be different.
Be different.
Texas and Colgate, 2:15.
Dang, Colgate.
Colgate got shafted, drawn up against Texas.
Colgate's always one of those teams.
They're
that
always
can
on the verge of winning an
always-
NCAA tournament game.
Yeah, they can always upset a team.
They could. I'm going Texas. This Texas team is
They're a buzzsaw.
they are
Yeah.
insane.
Terry Saunders.
And like we saw the thing you saw on Twitter, they are top 5 in both categories, offense and defense. And you just beat Kansas by 20.
Twice. They beat them in at their place, and they beat them by 20 in the Big 12 title game.
Yes. I don't know how you cannot. I mean, yeah, they've lost games to Baylor. They've lost games to TCU. But it seems like everybody in the Big 12 has lost to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to pick against Texas. I love Texas as a team, and it's going to stay like that. Texas.
I'm going Texas as well. So yeah, the thing Joel's talking about, so 100% of national championships since 2002 have been both a top 40 Ken Palm offense and top 22 in defense, and Texas falls in that category. And they're led by Marcus Carr, who's averaging 16 a game, transfer from, where was it again? Minnesota. That's what it was, Minnesota. Because I remember Kentucky was looking around for a little bit. He's a stud. Sir'Jabari Rice has been great as a senior guard for him. And Tyrese Hunter, we're going to see March Tyrese again. Last year, went ballistic in the tournament for Iowa State, led them to a couple wins, and I think he's going to do the same thing here with Texas. And they're going to move on against Colgate fairly easily. And yeah, I got Texas.
Yeah, I'll make this short. Texas is a buzzsaw, and yeah, I'll go with Texas.
Also,
in this game.
Dylan Mitchell was good too.
Dylan Mitchell was good. Yeah.
All right, round of 32.
We got Houston and Auburn. I don't think Houston loses this one, even with the Sasser injury. I feel like Houston is just a deep team. They have so much. They play physical. They're a great defensive team. They can score. I don't think Auburn can handle that in this game, so I'm going Houston.
I'm going Houston as well. Even if Sasser ends up not playing, I think I think they're still good enough. I think Dries Walker is a great player as a 2 guy for Sasser and for Houston. He's going to be a top 10 to 15 pick probably in the NBA draft this year, and I think he's going to ball out. And yeah, I have Houston just because, like you said, Auburn's offense isn't anything to write home about.
Yeah. I've got Houston and Iowa. I'm going to take Houston in this game. I think if Houston does play Iowa, Marcus Sasser will come back just because Iowa can score the ball super well. And I feel like if they get hot, Houston's going to have to play game of their life.
Well, I mean,
they said he could come back.
Could come back for that,
you can play on it,
but it's going to be.
I
would assume
he will have to fight through it. He'll be limited.
He'll be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
But you can definitely play through it.
If they play Auburn, I don't know if Marcus Sasser will come back. Just because I think Houston could take care of Auburn even without Marcus Sasser, but I feel like they would play Marcus Sasser if they played Iowa, just as a precaution.
Okay.
To be not really make it super super concerning, and for that reason, I'll take Houston in that game.
And then,
Also, Houston's just there. We said earlier they're just really, really, really good.
31-3.
31-3.
okay, so this is where this is the one that we all have different.
Yeah, you all have
I
Drake,
have-
Indiana. I have Miami,
I
Kent
don't.
State.
I have Miami.
Oh, you have
Indiana.
Miami, Indiana. Okay.
I like the Miami
Drake,
team,
Miami,
but I think
State.
Indiana's.
We do all have to.
I think Indiana's offense is too much in this case. I'm gonna go Indiana.
I'm going to Indiana. I think Drake's guard is going to score a lot, obviously, but they just, again, don't really have anybody to match up with Trey Jackson-Davis, and I think because of that, Indiana's going to win this one.
Yeah, I got Miami and Kent State in this one. I'll take Miami in this game. Experienced backcourt. Isaiah Wong is ACC Player of the Year. And I think while Kent State's going to kind of shock the college basketball world against Indiana, Miami's going to be ready for them. So I'll go with Miami.
Good pick. For me, it's Iowa State Xavier.
That's what I got.
I've got Pitt Xavier.
Okay.
But
I'm going Xavier. Like I said, I love this Xavier team. Pretty consistent throughout. They have their moments, but I feel like they're battle tested. I feel like that is going to help them a ton. They're able to score the ball in great clips, getting up to upwards of 80 points a lot of the time this year. And I just don't think Iowa State can compete with that. I'm going to go Xavier.
I'm going to go Xavier as well. They're just because they're 9th in Ken Palm offensive rating, and they're going to outscore Iowa State because Iowa State can't really score the basketball.
no, they can't. Yeah, I've got Xavier and Pitt. I'll go with Xavier in this game. Just a better team, and like you said, battle-tested Big East, 9th in offensive rating. And yeah, they are inconsistent, but so is Pitt. So
That is
Xavier's just a better team. So
Yeah.
I'll go with Xavier in this one.
Good. Okay, then I got Texas Penn State. I love the story of Penn State, but I don't think it'll be enough to compete with Texas. Texas is just too dynamic of a team, and like you said, they're a buzzsaw. It's going to be hard to beat that team. Texas.
I'm going to go Texas as well. They're one of the best teams in this tournament. They played in the Big 12. Big 12 is stacked this year, and I'll just continue the run and the historic run of Big 10 teams being terrible in the tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. I've got Texas A&M. I think if this game happens, it'll be a really good game.
I think so too.
I think if Texas plays Texas A&M, it'll be a really good game. But Texas is just on another level.
Did you notice how many Texas teams are in this part of the bracket?
Yeah, they got Houston,
Texas A&M, and
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
They want to make sure a Texas team gets out of
Yeah,
there.
I've got Texas in that game. And Texas.
Okay. I got.
A lot of Texas teams in the entire bracket. Like Texas Southern,
There's a ton of Texas.
Texas A&M, Corpus Christi.
There's so much Texas.
Baylor.
It's ungodly. Okay, next one. I got Houston and Indiana. I'm taking Houston. Sasser. And
Marcus Sasser will be back.
He should be back by this point.
Barring any setbacks.
Yes. So I am going with Houston, banking on that. I mean, I could have some hesitation. I probably will have some hesitation if he's not back. But with that in mind, I'm going with Houston.
I'm going with Houston as well. I think this will be the first matchup where
Houston
a team
beats Texas.
matches up well with Trey Jackson-Davis. Drees Walker is a big-bodied forward, and his best trait is his defense.
Yes.
And I think he's going to limit Trace Jackson-Davis, and I think with Sasser, if he's playing, I think that helps him a lot. But I don't think that Hood Schifino is going to really, or anybody else is going to really carry them if Trace Jackson is taken out of the game. So I'm going to go Houston.
Yeah, I've got Houston and Miami in this one. I've got Houston as well. Houston has the backcourt to match up with Miami's, and they're just 31-3 on the year. They've shown that they're one of the best teams in the country, and Marcus Sasser should be back. So I'll take Houston in this game.
One thing for Houston, does it worry you guys that they are 31-3,
But they do play in the American.
I'm not
and
concerned.
So they
went to the Final Four like a couple years ago, played in the American. I'm not concerned with them being in the American at all.
I'm not really concerned. I feel like they're a very deep team, like we said. Just all around, I feel like they're a team that can make a run to the Final Four.
It's like Gonzaga plays in the West Coast Conference.
Yeah,
Gonzaga needs to get out of that conference.
Yeah, that's true.
they do. But that team that team that they had with Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
The American's not like a terrible conference. They've got Memphis, Cincinnati.
It's
like,
good.
it's better than what Gonzaga.
I've just seen some people.
I would-
say
It's
that.
similar.
It's similar.
I've just
to
seen
it.
some people question whether Houston's legit or not. I think
I think they're legit.
I think they're legit.
Others aren't. So.
Next one, Xavier, Texas.
We all got Xavier, Texas, right?
I don't know what you guys got. I'm going Texas, riding the Texas train. I feel like this team is, like we said, unbelievable. I can't pick against them. I know I love the Big East, but I'm not picking against Texas.
I'm going Texas as well. So then in the Elite Eight, we'll have a battle of Texas between Houston and Texas.
Yeah, I've got Texas in that game as well. Xavier's way too inconsistent for me to trust them any further.
Yep. I agree.
Good run by Xavier.
It was a great
Yeah, it's a good run by Xavier.
Absolutely.
Give him credit.
I honestly, if they got placed somewhere else, potentially, like I know they're inconsistent, I could see potentially making a run, but I don't see it.
They kind of came out of nowhere.
They did. So we all have Texas,
We all have
Houston.
Texas, Houston.
Texas, Houston.
I got Texas. I got Texas winning this one. Don't get me wrong. Like we said, we think Houston is legit, but I just can't pick against Texas. I struggle to pick against Texas. So Texas makes it to my Final Four.
Here's my thing. If Marcus Sasser was 100%, I would take Houston.
Yep.
But because he will more than likely not be 100% throughout this tournament because of groin injuries. Yes, if they are fully healed, you can be fine, but they are lingering.
They are a pain.
And you tweak, you move one wrong move.
You make one wrong step and it re-aggravates the injury.
And you're done for
completely.
the rest of the
So
tournament.
I think with Sasser not being 100% through this entire tournament changes the entire landscape of Houston's title hopes, and because of that, I'm going to have Texas.
Yeah. I think this will be the game of the tournament.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
I think this could be the game of the
We
tournament.
have
Yeah, Houston, Texas. The Final Four is in Houston, so both these teams are going to be fighting tooth and nail
to
get home.
to make sure that they're the
Basically
team that gets there. But I also have Texas for that reason and that reason alone. I don't know how healthy Marcus Sasser is going to be. If Marcus Sasser doesn't get hurt, I probably have Houston winning this game. But it's just unfortunate that injury struck when it did.
It is. It's very
But
unfortunate.
Texas is, I'd say, probably the second hottest team in the country behind Duke. And they're just loaded on all ends.
All ends. I agree.
So I'll take Texas in this game as well.
So just to recap, we have. So for me, I have Bama, Marquette, Texas.
Same.
I've got Arizona, Marquette, Texas.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I have Arizona.
So me and Evan basically have the same bracket. So
Yeah,
far.
we're pretty close.
We're pretty darn close. Couple matchups swapped.
I think that was the most different region we've had. Though,
It
in terms
definitely.
of across the board.
Oh, you just wait till this one.
Oh, this
This
West
is
region,
the one.
I feel like the West region is the most balanced region of the four.
I
If
agree.
we're being honest.
I totally agree. Do you need time, or can we just
I don't
go
think-
right into
No, you're
116? Kansas,
You're good.
blatantly, this is going to be Kansas.
Howard stands no chance.
I mean, yeah, they had an injury, and Bill Self hasn't been there with the team, which is kind of a little, but they proved that they can play without that. The injury is more concerning to me, but it's not going to matter in this game, Kansas.
I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on this game. We got Kansas.
Kansas all the way on that one. What's the next game?
Arkansas, Illinois.
This is a good game.
It's a good game.
Like we said, these 8, 9, 7, 10 games are all amazing, in my opinion. Arkansas is freaking they're crazy. I've watched them play a couple times.
They're really, really talented.
They're a very talented and young team.
Yeah.
Very talented and young team. And I don't think, like we said, the consistent narrative is that the Big Ten can't perform in the big dance. So I'm going Arkansas. Arkansas has given some teams some fits this year in the SEC. So
I'm going Arkansas as well. They are young and inexperienced, but they had one of the best recruiting classes in the country for a reason. And they're led by Nick Smith Jr., who is a stud freshman. You got Anthony Black, 6'7" guard. You got Ricky Council, junior 6'6" guard. You got Mark Mitchell, another freshman in the middle. I think overall they're just more talented than this Illinois team. Yes, Illinois has guys like Terrence Shannon, who's had a good year, and others, but I think Arkansas is just a better team.
Yeah, I've got Arkansas in this game too. They're just way, way, way more talented. I do think they've kind of underperformed in terms of expectation. But you can make the argument that North Carolina was kind of underperforming based on expectation before the tournament last year, and they made the national championship game. So the fact is that Arkansas is here, and they're just a way more talented team than Illinois is. So I'm going to take Arkansas in this game as well.
Nice. Arkansas. Love that. St. Mary's VCU. This could be personal bias from the game I just watched this weekend against Dayton. This VCU team is hungry.
This VCU team is really, really good.
This VCU team is hungry. I love watching them play. I think they're a physical team. They can match up well across the board. I'm going VCU. There's my 12 seed.
I like VCU a lot.
I got, 2 12 seeds?
I already have... Let me just check. I already have 2 12-5 upsets. And I am going to be riding the Aiden... what's his name? Mahogany or something like that. I'm going to be riding the hype train of him, and I'm going to go St. Mary's. I think he's a stud as a freshman. Is this even right? Nope, that's the wrong school.
That's Mount St. Mary's.
I looked up St. Mary's.
It is Saint. Like, type out
SAINT.
There we go.
St. Louis, St. Mary's, St. Mary's. There you go.
All right. Yes, Aiden Mahoney, 14.5 points. Beast as a freshman. He's been really surprising. And then you got Logan Johnson, who's averaging 15 as well. I think St. Mary's is a good team. I mean, yes,
they're a good team.
Yes, they play in not the best conference, but they're ranked 40th in offense and 9th in defense. So because of that, I'm going to go with St. Mary's. But I do think VCU is very good, and I would not be shocked if they do win.
Yeah, I watched that UD-VCU game. I don't think VCU excels at anything.
No.
Really?
But
they are scrappy. They will get after you for the entire game.
The big thing, too.
Yeah.
The big thing, too, is they have to be hitting their shots.
Yes, they have to be hitting their shots.
Because if they're not hitting their shots, they are not winning that game. And I mean, that goes for everybody.
Yeah, but more so with VCU.
They're not that good of a shooting
VCU's
team.
very streaky.
Yes.
But they fight for everything. It seems like every single 50-50 ball in that game against UD was going to VCU. And I've been low on St. Mary's this whole year. I think they've been kind of overrated.
They just got their butts kicked against Gonzaga.
Yeah. I think they've been kind of overrated this entire
was
season.
a rough one.
And so for those reasons, I'll get my second 12-5 upset. I'll go with VCU in this game.
We got the same. I think we have the same 12-5 upsets.
What, Charleston and VCU?
Charleston and VCU. Yep, those are my 2 as well. I just feel like those are the 2 best bets.
Charleston's really, really good. They're really, really good. I know we're not even there anymore, but Charleston's really, really good.
I love Charleston.
All right, the next one. What do we got? UConn?
UConn and Iona.
Iona with the whole... I could see Iona... This could be a game I could see happening potentially as an upset. But I freaking love this UConn team. This UConn team is beautiful. 2 guys averaging 16, Hawkins and Sanago, let me rephrase. I think they can guard 1 to 5. This is a team that fits the mold of being a top 40 offense and a top 22 defense. This team is the real deal. it would not surprise me if they make it to the Final Four. I'm going UConn.
I'm going UConn as well. Jordan Hawkins, man, absolute stud.
Yep.
Shooting the ball lights out at a 37% clip from 3. He's going to be a first-round pick. Connecticut, they're 6th in offense, 18th in defense. I think that's all you need to know. And they're playing Iona. They've made a good run. Patino has brought that program to life.
Yes.
But UConn's just too much of a...
Looks like Patino might be
Powerhouse.
coming to the Big East next year.
Yeah, I
too.
follow that.
I have a feeling he's going to go to St. John's,
St.
which would be
John's.
good for him.
It
He's
would be
from
great.
New York.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah. I've got UConn as well. Like you said, you all covered it all. Top 40 offense, top 22 defense. They guard 1 through 5 exceptionally well. They are very, very, very well balanced. And yeah, I'll take UConn in this game.
Nice pick. UConn across the board on that one. Good job, boys. I think we just handed that one to Iona.
Yeah, congrats to the
Congrats,
Gales.
congrats,
Iona.
TCU and Arizona State or Nevada.
Oh my goodness, Arizona State. I'm so scared. TCU, pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Miles Jr.
Stud.
was a freak. This dude, and he's going to be a freak. Next level guy. I love what he has done. I watched him play Kansas State the other night. Knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
You get him in space. He can finish at the rim. Just an unbelievable player. And I feel like this TCU team is like, they're deep too. They're a deep team as long as they can stay healthy, which has been an issue for them this year because Miles was hurt for a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a team that could surprise a lot of people. And for that case, I'm going to take TCU.
I'm going to go TCU as well. I really like Mike Miles' game. He's one of the best guards in the country, averaging 17 points. But yeah, once he went down, that's when the team started to struggle.
They're getting him back at a great time.
Yeah, so I feel like if you look through the first half of the season, they were a top. They were
a top 10 team.
They were competing for the number 1 spot at some point.
They only had one loss, probably about halfway through the season, and then Miles went down, and they struggled mightily.
It shows how much he means to this team.
Yeah, so because of that, I'm going to go TCU over. And also, Arizona State and Nevada, the only reason they're even in the tournament.
Nevada shouldn't even be in the tournament at all.
Yeah,
if we're being honest with ourselves.
Because they
Rutgers
made
got
buzzer
snubbed.
beaters.
Yeah. And the only reason Arizona State's here is because of a half-court heave on the road
Against
against Arizona. Yeah.
So I got TCU win this one fairly easily.
Quad 1 wins.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. I've got TCU as well. I mean, Mike Miles coming back is huge for them. And yeah, they've played in the Big 12. They're battle-tested, and then I don't think Arizona State or Nevada are particularly good. So I'll roll with TCU in this game as well.
Good stuff. Across the board, we like that. Next one is Gonzaga, right?
Yeah, Gonzaga, Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Sorry, Johnny. Gonzaga.
Sorry, John. Gonzaga.
This isn't anything crazy here. You got Drew Timme. You got a great team. I just don't think really that Grand Canyon stands a whole lot of a chance here. Gonzaga.
Happy Grand Canyon got in. But,
Yes, congratulations.
But they're going to get destroyed.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I mean,
about it.
Drew Timme has been one of the best players in college basketball for the last 3 years, averaging 21 and 7, and nobody is really talking about him. Julian Strother is also an absolute stud, shooting 42% from 3.
That's
averaging 15 points. He's a difference maker. Anton Watson can guard. Malachi Smith is a good player. Nolan Hickman.
Malachi Smith.
They just got players all over the board, and I think Grand Canyon's outmatched. So I'm going to go with GCU. But yeah, we love you, Johnny.
Yeah. No hard feelings, John, but Gonzaga by 40. They're trending in the right direction at the right time.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that Gonzaga, although they play in the West Coast Conference, is not a team to be messed with.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll take Gonzaga in this game pretty comfortably.
Yeah. This reminds me of 2019 when Liberty had their best year ever. First round matchup when against Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. Lost by like 30.
Lost by 9. It was like 9. It wasn't like 30.
But they were.
But they still.
They were not going to win that game.
They weren't going to win that game.
You got a 5'9" Darius McGee versus a 6'8" Cade Cunningham, who's the first overall pick. Yeah, it's not happening. That's the vibes I'm getting from this game. Good team.
Good season from Grand Canyon, though.
Yeah, great.
You can't complain with that.
Northwestern and Boise.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a toss-up. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Boise State.
Yeah.
Northwestern had a great run this year. Denahart, he's pretty darn good for what they have out there. I just feel like Northwestern, they don't travel. This is a team that doesn't travel well at all. It's honestly,
where are they playing at?
They're in the West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be going far.
They gotta go. They're playing in Sacramento.
Oh yeah,
This is right up in Boise State's alley. I think it's clear as day. Boise State, I know they've had a couple rough games here lately, but I feel like Boise State takes care of business. Northwestern doesn't play well on the road. Doesn't finish out well on a neutral site either.
Yeah. I'm going Boise as well, mostly for the fact that Northwestern has to travel very far, and they're not good on the road. Doesn't bode well for their chances because teams that don't win well on the road typically don't do well in March. So because of that, I'm going to go with Northwestern. But Boise's like,
This is
I'm so indifferent about this game. Like
it's not. It doesn't get my hopes up.
it doesn't. This game doesn't catch my eye. I'm gonna go Boise State as well because you said Northwestern doesn't travel well on the road, and they lost to Penn State in the first round of the. Penn State's good.
Penn State's good. Don't get me wrong.
Northwestern was the better team. They should have won that game, and they didn't. So I'll go with Boise State in this game. Although I think Boise State has a history of not performing in March as well.
I understood it too well.
Yeah,
neither does Northwestern.
Yeah, this is their second time they've ever been here. So like,
that's true.
Yeah,
true.
They won one.
They beat Vanderbilt a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to beat Boise State.
It's just Boise. I like you said, I'm indifferent about this game. It doesn't excite me like the other 7-10, 8-9 games. But
probably won't be watching this game at 10.
Unless it comes down to the wire.
Yeah, unless it's a close game at the end, then I'll flip it on.
Then I'll flip it on. Just be like, just to check out my
see
bracket.
what happens.
But yeah, I don't see Northwestern winning this game.
All right, UCLA, UNC, Asheville.
UCLA, clear as day. UCLA is they're a dynamic team. Very experienced team too, because a lot of those that year they went to the Final Four. The year
2021,
21.
Johnny Juzang.
Yes, a lot of those guys are still here.
Yeah.
So that experience is what gives me the edge with them, UCLA. Even in this 15 seed, you get what I mean.
I'm going UCLA by a pretty big margin, but I do like UNC Asheville. I think they got a good squad, and I think they could be upset people, but they're going up against a juggernaut, man. I mean, UCLA, Hammy Hawk has 17 points. He's been there since that turning run. Tiger Campbell also been there since that turning run. Amani Bailey has really been playing well towards the end of the year. Freshman, he was a top number 10 ranked recruit. They did lose Jalen Clark for the season.
Yes,
that really hurts them.
That's a big hurt.
That'll hurt them in the future, but for right now,
in this 15 seed matchup, it doesn't.
I don't think it's going to do much. So yeah,
I don't think it'll really matter for a little bit here.
Yeah. I have UCLA in this game too. I will say though, if you are looking for again a 14 or lower seed to potentially win a game, I think UNC Asheville. I think UNC Asheville is one of those teams. They have a stud in Drew Pember. He averages 21-9,
Pember's good.
2.2 assists a game, shoots like 50% from the field, averages 2 blocks a game. Like they have a dynamic duo in Drew Pember and Tajon Jones. And the Jalen Clark injury, again, like you said, he's going to be out for the year. I do have UCLA in this game, but Drew Pember's a guy that could cement himself into March Madness history.
Legendary.
Yeah,
Might be
if
a March
he were to
Madness
somehow,
He's also a treasure from Tennessee.
he is. He's really good. 21, 9, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks per game. Like he's a stud for this UNC Asheville team. But UCLA is just more talented and they're more balanced all the way through.
If they were playing anyone else, they would have probably.
That is a legit.
I think they could have done.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a 14 seed or lower to maybe
like
win
if
a
they
game,
were,
I could look at UNC
14 in
Asheville.
this
If you're being
bracket,
extra silly, take that.
if
I'd
they
probably
were
go with that
14
one.
in this bracket, I would have them beating like Kansas State,
Yeah, I think if they went up against Kansas
Baylor,
State, yeah.
maybe even Gonzaga or Xavier, one of those guys.
It's just with those Big 12 teams, like, you see them win big games, and the next game they're losing, like,
Yeah.
insanely bad.
All right.
Kansas, Arkansas across the board.
Kansas, Arkansas, yeah.
I got Kansas. One of the best teams in the country. It's clear as day. Arkansas's got young talent, but I feel like that's not going to be enough to stop Grady Dick and the rest of the Kansas crew. So Kansas.
I'll go Kansas as well. I love Kansas' roster. I mean, they returned a lot of guys from that title team last year. Jalen Wilson has been playing like the player of the year, averaging 20 and 8. Grady Dick has been one of the best freshmen, 6'8" guard, averaging 14 and 5.
Lotto pick.
You got KJ Adams, who's a lot athletic, a lot of threat. Kevin McCullough, who did get hurt and didn't play much in the Big 12 tournament, but I just looked up. He is on the trajectory to play first round, which is good. You got DeJuan Harris, who's a good senior guard. Yesufu, who's had his moments in the tournament. I think they're just a overall great team.
Yeah.
And they have more experience, better coach, all that stuff. So I think they're going to beat Arkansas.
Yeah. I've got Kansas in this game as well. I think this could be a closer game than experts initially think, because I do think Arkansas has the talent to match up with Kansas in terms of at least their starting lineup. But Kansas is just way more deep of a team. Like you said, better head coach. They're returning a few of the guys that were on that title team last year. It would not shock me if Arkansas were to pull this upset off, because I do think the 1 seeds this year are especially vulnerable, including Kansas. But I'm going to take Kansas in this game. I don't have a reason to trust Arkansas this season. They haven't shown me that, so
Nice.
I'll go with Kansas.
Okay, so I have UConn VCU. I'm going UConn. Like I said, I love this UConn team. Don't get me wrong. Like we said, this VCU team is scrappy, but I don't think it's enough to take care of to beat this UConn team. So UConn.
I got UConn St. Mary's. I'm going to go UConn by a pretty good amount. They're just an overall better team. Played a lot better competition.
Yep.
And they got what it takes to really go far in the tournament.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, I've got UConn VCU again. I'm also going to go UConn. Just an overall better team, and VCU. Heart can only go so far in March Madness and in tournaments like this. At some point, talent will win out, and UConn is just the way more superior, talented team. They are more battle tested. So, like you said, you love this UConn team. So I'm going to go with UConn in this game.
I feel like this next one could be where we all.
What, Gonzaga, TCU?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe.
I got TCU. I'm taking TCU. Don't get me wrong, this Gonzaga team is good. But with Mike Miles returning to TCU, I feel like this is where we could see that TCU team really excel. This team is unreal. Like, they can handle this Gonzaga team, I feel. I'm going to go TCU.
I got Gonzaga. I think it's going to be a good game, but Gonzaga's got that turning experience. They got a lot of good players. They got a great coach, and I think, yes, this Gonzaga team did underperform, but at its core, it's still a very good team and a team that could still make a good run if they get hot. So because of that, and because of TCU's inconsistencies, I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I've got Gonzaga as well. It's kind of crazy that we're saying that they underperformed after they went 28-5 and won the West Coast Conference.
pretty handily.
Yeah,
too.
pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
They've won 22 of their last 25 games, and
fire.
they still have Drew Timme. So I'm going to roll with Gonzaga in this game. I think TCU. I know Mike Miles is back, and I think it will be a very, very, very good game. But I trust Gonzaga more. I trust the experience that they have on that team.
Nice. Okay, so what's the next one? I got UCLA, Boise State. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on this one. I don't think Boise State even competes with UCLA. UCLA.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I actually think UNC Asheville has a better chance of beating UCLA than Boise State does.
I agree.
So,
I actually agree with that.
I will take UCLA in this game as well, pretty comfortably.
Wait, Sweet
Sweet 16.
16.
UConn, Kansas.
UConn. I think we all have Kansas, UConn.
Yep. UConn. I'm going UConn. I love both teams in this one. I understand Kansas has the experience, but I just think this UConn team is different. I feel like they are capable of making this run and just I think, like you said, these 1 seeds are susceptible to a loss. I think it happens here. I'm going UConn.
I'm going to go Kansas. I love this Kansas team. I think Jalen Wilson is one of the top 3 best players in college basketball this year, and I think that's going to be a main reason why they go as far as they do. And I really also like Grady Dick. I mean, 6'8" guard who can play, make, and shoot is really a problem. And I feel like out of most of the freshmen, I think he's going to have a big impact in this tourney. I think this is going to be one of the best games in the tournament.
I
For sure.
agree.
UConn is a heck of a team. They have everything that it takes to make it to a Final Four, but they're going up against a really experienced Kansas team that has the experience of winning. They know what it takes, and I think it's going to be like a 2 to 6 point game.
I could even see a game winner
could go off a
happen.
game winner or buzzer beater, but I'm going to lean Kansas on this one.
This is such a hard game to call.
It
This
is.
is such a hard game to call, Kansas UConn, because I love both teams.
I feel like
love
all
both
these
the
games.
rosters.
I
that
feel
are
like a lot of
constructed.
these games are like that.
Yeah. But at some point in this tournament, you can't always go chalk. So, and again, 1 seeds are susceptible. So I'm also going to take UConn in this game.
Good stuff. I got TCU versus UCLA. I think in this one, I got TCU. With the Clark injury, really leaves that team, gives me some worries with that UCLA team. And like I said, I just love this TCU team. I feel like they can make a run, and I just feel like they can take care of this UCLA team, even with UCLA's experience and everything like that. So I'm going to go TCU.
I'm going to go UCLA. I think Amari Bailey is going to have a phenomenal tournament. I think he's going to kind of break out and play his best basketball towards the end because he has been playing his best basketball here in the last couple of games. I think he's going to really raise his draft stock. I think because of that, I think he's gonna really be one of the main reasons why they do beat Gonzaga. But there always is one freshman who really raises his stock in the tournament, and I think that's going to be Amari Bailey.
I like that.
Yeah. These two teams have some history.
They do.
It seems like every 4 or 5 years, these two teams are right at each other.
They're meeting each other
They
at
play in
some
an
point.
instant classic.
Yes.
But because of that Jalen Clark injury, I will be going Gonzaga
right.
in this game. They're very hot. I know they play in a weaker conference, but that doesn't really matter. They went to the national title game, and they've been to a couple Final Fours, countless Elite Eights. Like this, they're well and truly they're becoming a blue blood program in this. They're becoming right on there with like the UCLA's, the Duke, North Carolina's, Kentucky's. They're right up there with them. And I just, if Jalen Clark didn't get injured, I was talking about this earlier, I probably would have picked UCLA to win the national title.
I could see.
But that injury is massive.
It's really big.
It's
It's
big.
really
It changes
big.
a lot of things.
It does. And I think it's going to bite them in the Sweet 16. So I'll take Gonzaga in this one.
Nice. So that leaves me with UConn, TCU. This is where the TCU train finishes. I got UConn winning this one. I don't know. I've said it enough. This UConn team's special. I just think they got the best. This part of the bracket is you could see anybody out of this part. Sure. This part is unreal. How
balanced it
is. It is. Like we have a 15 seed. We have more confidence in than a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah, I'm gonna go UConn here.
I got Kansas and UCLA. I'm going to go Kansas because of the Jalen Clark injury. I think they're not going to have...
Finally catches up.
Yeah, I think it's going to catch up with them this game. I think they're going to barely edge out Gonzaga, and I think it's going to catch up with them. I don't think they have anybody really to guard Jalen Wilson, and if they do, Jalen Clark will probably be on Grady Dick, and I think Grady Dick will do just enough to push him over the edge. Plus, Bill Self...
hopefully is back by then for them.
Yeah,
I think he was discharged from hospital.
He was.
He should be back. I just have a lot more faith in him as a coach than I do in any of these other guys.
Yeah, I have UConn and Gonzaga. I think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to change it to Gonzaga. Only because we would have 3 of the same Final Four teams if I went with UConn. And, I love this UConn team. I think UConn can very easily make the Final Four. They are loaded top to bottom. And like you said, Big East in general.
This is a year where the Big East could just
dominate. Yeah. Like, in general, the Big East.
Since like the 90s.
It was like the 80s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Since Georgetown was a powerhouse.
Yes.
And like you said, the Big East is, in general, a really good conference. Like, they're Power 6 for a reason. Villanova's won 3 national titles in the past decade. They're out of the Big East. But I'm going to roll with Gonzaga. I think everyone's kind of sleeping on them because of how they started the year.
I agree.
Yep.
And now UConn is also trending in the right direction, but, Gonzaga's won 22 of the last 25 games.
You had a lot of moving parts with that team.
Yeah, for sure. So I had UConn. I will change it to Gonzaga. Only because I don't want to have 3 of the same Final Four teams as you. So, yeah, I'll go with Gonzaga in that game.
Okay, so...
All right, Final Four time.
I got Alabama, Marquette, Texas, UConn.
Hold on, let me change it real fast.
All right, who do you have winning the Alabama Marquette?
I love this Marquette team, but I can't bet against Brandon Miller in Alabama. I think that they're too deep of a team. They're too athletic of a team and just... the best team in college basketball. So I'm going with Alabama.
What about for Texas?
And Texas, UConn. I have battled with this one a lot, but I'm going to go Texas. I think Texas is... I just think Texas is a better team. I think they're both amazing teams. If this Final Four happens, you're getting 2 potential games in the Final Four that are up there at the top. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I am gonna lean Bama versus Texas, with both games being very close.
I got Alabama Marquette in my Final Four, and I'm gonna have Alabama winning that in a close one. They got Brandon Miller, best player in college basketball. That's a freshman, in my opinion. And they're just an overall better team. Marquette's a heck of a team, but Alabama has more star power. So I'm going to go Bama. They're going to be in my national championship. They're going to meet... I don't know. I'm going to go Texas. I think it's going to be a great game, but it's going to be a home game for Texas. And I think that's going to really boost them. I think it's going to be a good story because they went from, obviously, Chris Beard, the whole situation that happened with him, to having an interim coach who's basically really rallied this team and got them to their highest of potential. He's really tapped into that. And I think it's going to be a good story. And I think they're going to edge out Kansas in a thriller. So, yeah, I'm going to have Alabama and Texas in the national championship.
Yeah, I've got Arizona Marquette and then Texas Gonzaga as my Final Four. Arizona Marquette. I'm going to take Arizona.
Do you have a 1 seed in your Final Four?
No 1 seed. Just not a single 1 seed.
Nice.
I think the 1 seeds are especially vulnerable this year. Yeah. I'm not really super.
I agree.
If Marcus Sasser didn't get hurt, Houston would be in there. Mm-hmm. But I don't Like, I don't know
It's
how.
such a big concern for
it's
them.
it's too much of a concern for me to trust them. But yeah, Arizona Marquette. I'm going to go with Arizona in this game. I think this is where Marquette's kind of lack of offensive firepower at times catches up to them. And Shaka Smart, it's a great run for them. It's a great run for Marquette because no one expected them to even be near this point.
Exactly.
But Arizona's got more talent top to bottom. They're just they've got better length, better spacing, better size, and their offense is a dynamo. So for those reasons, I will take Arizona. And then I got Texas Gonzaga in my other semifinal, and I can't pick against Texas. I can't pick against Texas. They are so good. They are flying on all cylinders right now. And with the Final Four being in Houston, like you said, it's going to be a home game for them. And I think this is when Gonzaga's lack of playing in a real powerhouse conference catches up to them once again. So I've got Arizona, Texas in my national championship.
So should we go first or let him go first? Because we got the same one.
I can go first. All right, Arizona, Texas national title game, and I've got Texas winning it. I've got Texas as the national title game. I think they're too balanced. I think they really impressed me in the Big 12 title game against Kansas. That game wasn't even close. I thought they
beat
won
them by 20.
Yeah. I thought it would be close just because it's on a neutral site. They beat them by more than they beat them when they played in Texas. And I think, but here's the thing: like, this is the most wide open this tournament has been, and I can't remember how long.
There's no clear-cut team that is like you have this strong feeling.
I'm not confident in like teams that'll make the Sweet 16, let alone the Final Four.
I agree.
But I think Texas is on another level in terms of consistency. And like you said, the Chris Beard thing, like they fought through adversity. And that's what you need to have in your team's DNA when it comes to a tournament like this, when you need to win 6 games to be crowned national title or national champion. And I think this is where Arizona's kind of lack of defense. Not lack of defense. Their defense is all right, but it's not elite. And at this point in the tournament, you need to have an elite defense in order to go all the way, and for that reason, I will be rocking with Texas in this game.
I like that pick. Yeah. I do like that pick.
Joel, ours sounds like a college football national championship.
Yeah, Alabama, Texas, and basketball.
You
never see that.
That sounds like a early 2010s national championship game.
Football. You want to go first for me?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, Alabama, Texas. This is going to be one for the ages, but I'm going to go Texas. Home game, once again, pretty much everything Nick said. They're one of the most balanced teams. They're very hot. And I can't root for Alabama. I'm sorry. They got Brandon Miller, great player. He's going to be a top 3 pick, without a doubt. Best freshman.
Lack of experience for Bama
that's going to hurt him.
Catch up with them here.
Yeah, that's going to.
It's going to catch up with them at some point. I just have it a little earlier than you guys.
And this is going to be the battle of allegations. Really,
I was about ready to say.
I mean, you got Brandon Miller and all his stuff. You got Chris Beard and all his stuff. And one of them's going to prevail victorious, and that's going to be Texas.
You might. I'm going different. I'm going Alabama. I know there's that lack of experience, but I feel like this Alabama team is just legit. They are. I feel like I've said it so much. They're just they're a dynamic team.
Yeah.
They're a complete dynamic team.
Both Alabama and Texas are like top 10 in both offense and defense.
Yes.
So like
that's like the thing. I don't know what has happened with this Bama team because they came out of nowhere. It started with Sexton.
Yeah.
But
I knew once they had a really good recruiting class.
Yeah, they did.
So I knew that was going to.
I knew it was going to come eventually.
I didn't think they were going to.
You knew it was going to help, but not this soon.
much.
I didn't
Yeah.
think it was good.
But yeah, I'm going with Alabama winning it all. I just think Brandon Miller is going to have an unreal game, and it's going to be enough to overcome Texas.
So we got Bama, Texas.
I like it, boys. I like it a ton.
Summary of this podcast: Joel's in love with the Big East.
Yeah, Joel's
I am
Joel's
in love with the Big East.
Oh,
yes.
Weaver picks on vibes.
Weaver has Vermont.
Yeah,
Weaver has Vermont.
Also,
We're gonna look back on this.
Adios, John. Grand Canyon. No, thank you.
congrats to Colgate on beating Texas because we all have them in our in our international title game.
Congratulations to Colgate.
I cannot wait for our brackets to be blown up after
the first
one
day.
day.
yeah,
On the first
that's
day.
guaranteed to happen.
It's that kind of year in college basketball.
This is what we love about March.
Yeah, watch. We'll look back on this like.
We're like, wow, we're idiots.
What is this?
We're very
We'll look
dumb.
back on this on what is it?
April.
On Saturday, and we'll be like, Zach, how the heck did you guess Vermont?
How did you pick Vermont?
He's like, I don't know.
He was
Yeah.
cracking me up today.
This would be a fun tourney. I love March Madness.
I do,
It's
too.
the best time of the year. And like you said, Nick, this is the most wide open that I feel like the tournament's been in a while. It can go either way.
There's no, I cannot.
clear-cut guy. There's
Yeah.
no clear-cut team.
Like even like last year, like we knew that
You could
North
make a general guess that
Carolina-
like Kansas could be there.
North
Kansas.
Carolina
Yeah.
was like running wild through
Yeah,
there.
you could say like Kansas and like Duke. Duke was up there.
Kentucky, until
Villanova,
Kentucky
Villanova for sure.
Kentucky was a great team.
They should have.
last
They were a Final Four team. But
And they lost to St. Peter's.
yep.
year.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
cannot wait.
Tournament starts tonight, although it's first four.
First four.
yeah,
so-
first four.
Hey, Pitt plays.
Yeah,
This
Pitt
is
does
big
play.
for you.
Pitt does
Then
play.
we got Thursday starting it all off.
What's the first game on Thursday?
West Virginia, Maryland, I believe.
Thursday and Friday are the best days because there's literally
I literally
It's
took work
basketball
off.
there's
all
a game on
day.
every single second.
I put in the app. I'm like, yeah, I'm not working either Thursday or Friday. Did
you say that?
I did. I put it in the app. I'm working every other day this week apart from Thursday, Friday.
Awesome.
But you know,
That's awesome.
it is what it is.
That is awesome. What game, first day game, is your go-to? What is your favorite for this?
When you say first day,
What are the first day games?
First, like your
do you
round
want
of
when you-
64.
round of 64? I was like, do you want to do first day or like round of 64?
round of 64. What are your games that you are most looking forward to?
I mean, Kent State, Indiana. That's up there for me. Once I saw that game be revealed, I'm like, I can't wait to watch that one. I also really like Memphis, FAU.
That's
That's up there for me as well.
I am very I would say my top two. My top two are Auburn and Iowa. I am excited.
Battle of strengths.
I am very excited for that game. And then Oh, Providence, Kentucky.
Bryce Hopkins revenge game.
Yes, Bryce Hopkins.
I know we've talked about them a lot on this podcast. I really want to see Charleston do well.
Charleston.
I
We're
really
on the
want to see
Charleston
them.
hype train here.
We're all
Charleston.
riding the Charleston hype train.
For me, first day games I'm looking at Penn State, Texas A&M.
I was gonna say
think
that's
that'll be good. Or Roberts Duke. I'm
or Roberts
I'm
Duke.
curious to see how that pans out.
Max Asmus legacy
And then,
game.
the boys at Charleston.
Yeah.
With you.
310.
I cannot wait for
310.
I
Everybody
cannot
better
wait
be
for
watching.
San Diego State to annihilate Charleston. I cannot wait for that.
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Tickets as low. Oh, that's Alabama.
$9.
San Diego State and Charleston selling for $9.
Here we go.
Where's it at?
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
You know, there's a lot. There's games in Columbus.
There's games in
Both
Columbus.
one seeds are playing in Columbus.
Purdue.
And
Oh no, one seed Marquette. Sorry, Marquette.
Yeah, I
Marquette's
know.
playing.
Purdue and
I know
Marquette.
Michigan State's there. I know Purdue's there.
I thought about getting tickets.
that would be. Oh, Memphis
dope.
is there then too.
Memphis FAU's there.
Oh
That'd be
boy.
dope.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff, boys.
It's March Madness time.
It's March, best time of the year.
It's the most.
Yeah, I like
wonderful
how it's
time.
mid-March and it's 25 degrees and snowing outside.
Yep.
Makes me
That's
want to
awesome.
stay in even more. And
Gotta
watch
love
these
Ohio.
games.
I'm so excited for Thursday where basketball's on 24/7.
Yeah,
It's gonna be so-
from midnight to midnight, then you go to sleep and do it all over again.
Thank you, NCAA.
Thank you, NCAA. You don't do a lot of things right. but
one
this
thing
is
I
one
said
of them.
that somebody should create is like a March Madness like red zone, just for like the first like.
I think they have that
They
like
do?
on the app. Like I think it's like March Madness.
It gives you updates. and
Yeah,
stuff.
it gives you. I think on the app. I don't know if there's like a program, like on TV. I don't think there is, but they do have it on the app where they cut to like big moments and whatnot. Although I think it is a little delayed so I would rather just flip between channels on my TV.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hope you all enjoyed. Let us know who you have winning this year's March Madness tournament. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Colgate all the way.
Yes, sir.